All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Atlas Fighter Standoff brought to you by W Energy. Remember, if you use code GOATS Revived at checkout, you get 10% off your entire order. Remember, that is GOATS Revived at checkout. My name is Dexatron. I am joined by Kaylee here tonight. This is going to be a great night of Overwatch, Kaylee, and we have a great series to start off with.
Man, I am so excited for this series. I got the, Strix, Timelapse Obsidian, bangers way to start off the playoffs today, and I'm so hyped for both of these teams here today.
Yeah, these are two really good teams. When you look at how they performed last week in the group stage, or 2 weeks ago in the group stage, Strix came out on top, not dropping a map. Timelapse Obsidian came out second in their pool, losing to Citrus in their one loss they had. But other than that, they won their other two games. So two teams coming into this one here tonight looking to keep that hot streak rolling.
Yeah, and Strix not dropping a map, making sure they're going to keep that win streak going. And hilariously, I think that they were able to do it. I'm really excited to look at how these teams are going to be looking today, and I'm wondering if Strix is going to be able to keep up that adaptive brawl styles they've been playing in the past stops against Timeless, who has been showing that they can play pretty much any composition.
Yeah, me and you were talking about it a little bit before we got on stream here. That we kind of looked at both these teams last week, or from 2 weeks ago, and you talked about casting. I believe it was it Strix?
Yeah, it was Strix. Yeah, no, I had the pleasure of doing that, and it was just they were able to play a very adaptive form of Brawl with that Sim Fashion TP and with the Rhine player. They also are able to go onto the Junker Queen when needed, and potentially even reset comps as needed. But they are able to just rush into the enemy team, and they managed to make it work. I mean, they come out 6-0 from the group stages, and now they're here in the playoffs going against one of the fan favorites in the tournament.
Yeah, speaking of Strix, though, here is their lineup. Peace and Manually are your DPS line. Crimson is your big man tank. Aberdings and Divinity will be your support line. They also do have two members on the bench that could be subbed in at any point of Molly and Kindred. And like you were saying, Kaylee, very good team, and I really do expect that we're going to see a lot of brawl out of them.
Yeah, and I especially want to keep your eye on the backline. Divinity and Avertings, they were just completely solid. Avertings Lucio was deadly throughout the entire time Strix was playing in the group stages, getting picks off as necessary, and Divinity also getting picks on the BAP, opening up the fights with the support backline and just leaving Crimson and the DPS line to just clean up house.
Yeah, absolutely. But as we transition over here to Timeless's starting lineup, Dynasty and Hopeful will be your DPS line. Sone is your tank, Unread, and AJMR or Keith will be your support line here. They do have two subs as well with Grapes and Sloth. Now, me and you were talking about Timeless here a little bit before we got on stream, and honestly, it came down to how flexible this team is with their comps. They don't seem to be really hard set on one comp. They will kind of play to whatever the map kind of leads them to.
Yeah, and if Timeless did their homework and did watch and scrim against Strix and their compositions, I'm expecting a little bit of a London Boston kind of face-off here, where Timeless is going to be able to play a composition that completely mitigates Strix's strategy and force them to think on their feet. And Strix, as we saw in the last series, kind of struggled a little bit when it comes to initial adaptation, but given enough time, they're going to be able to adapt and try to get back into the game.
Yeah, absolutely. But we do know what our first map of the night will be here. Tonight will be the control map of Nepal. Now, Kaylee, heading into Nepal, what kind of comps do you expect to see? Do you expect to see kind of one comp reign throughout, or do you really expect to see maybe multiple comps kind of work depending on what sub-map we go to?
Honestly, I think we're going to start off with that Symmetra Bastion's composition from Strix. They played this on control every single time. They love the way that you can be able to move and manipulate the TP and move and rotate the team. And I think that when it comes to Timeless, they're going to be playing very similar to that rotations heavy style with that kind of brawl comp, trying to match it. But if they do play it smart, I think they can be playing a little more of a bunker comp and counteract what Strix has upcoming. So I'm really excited to see. I would love to see Dive. I'm a good fan of Dive.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with Timeless Obsidian coming in here, winning dive party. You have to imagine they are a very good dive team. And I believe through a couple of games that I watched them trying to learn a little bit about the team, they did run dive a decent amount. I don't remember how well it worked out for them, but considering I only saw them lose one map or one series and win the other two, it had to work out pretty good for them.
Yeah, and what I'm going to be looking for in the beginning of these control maps is that tank matchup of Sone and Crimson. I think that Crimson is a very nice Rhine player and a good Junker Queen player, but I think if Sone plays something like the Diva, if they play against with the Rhine v Rhine, I'm very curious to see if they were going to be able to match Crimson's aggression and the team of Strix and their aggression with the Lucio.
Yeah, absolutely. But you brought up a good thing with the Symmetra and Bastion kind of combo that we are seeing with a lot of Brawl teams running now, and just the TP being used very well. And honestly, being a Sim main myself, you don't really see Symmetra often. Thank you, Kaylee,
Yes.
for the support there. But you don't see Symmetra
Mhm.
used that often at high levels. So this past weekend and throughout a lot of it, and this tournament now, seeing the Symmetra used and used to great effect is just something
Yeah.
that brings me a lot of joy. But there's also that mental mind game whenever you see a TP come out. Are they going to use it? Are they going to fake? Do you focus a lot on it? Do you focus nothing on it and just let whatever happens happens? Like, it is a big kind of question whenever you see that TP come out from the other side.
Yeah, and I'm kind of worried about if Strix plays the Symmetric comp very well, but if they only are going to one-trick pony this composition, they seem to have struggled when they have to force off it. So I'm really excited to see when we get into the match here for Strix versus Timeless, as we are going to be hopping into Nepal here at this very moment. What I'm going to be looking for is that initial TP play. Who is able to get that first pick in the fights? Because that's what's going to decide here for first control.
Yeah, absolutely. And on first pick always is such a big thing, especially if you lose a tank. But in my opinion, if you can lose a tank and still end up winning a team fight if you play it smart. If you lose one of your supports, especially right now with the meta, you are down significantly.
Yeah. And so I'm going to see what team can be able to position better here in the first position. If they're going to be getting the high ground, who can be able to get onto point first here? And it seems like that Strix is looking to play at Symmetricon.
Yeah, Strix is looking at that, but look at Timeless as we already get a pause.
Ooh.
Not a good start here for them. But we can kind of see what kind of comp they want to come out with at the moment. Yeah, there's still 16 seconds on the clock, so a lot can change. But you look at that right there with the Sigma, and when you look at their DPS line, it doesn't necessarily gel that much, in my opinion.
Yeah. I'm thinking that what Timeless is going to look for here is going to be one of those Sigma compositions where they're going to be playing kind of to mitigate all of the pressure that comes with the Bastion transformation. One of the most important things about a Bastion Sim composition is those major cooldowns: Lamp, Transformation, Rhine Shield cooldown, and Fire Strikes. Those are really crucial cooldowns that I think that Timeless is just playing around to be forced before they make their move. And this is something that happened at the pro level when we saw, Boston Uprising used similar strats with Sigma in order to counteract that Bastion composition, and we saw how London did in playoffs. So I'm wondering if Timeless is going to be running that Sigma composition.
Yeah, they're teasing it right now. Remember, still 16 seconds on the clock. A lot of time for them maybe to just be teasing us with something here, allow us to talk about it, and then they say, we don't really feel like it today, and then maybe swap over to something else. But honestly, like, I'm kind of here for it. I kind of want to see the Sigma come out because, like you said, it can work and maybe it won't work. But hey, it's all about how good this team is.
Yeah, and what I saw in both teams were those Lucios, so we are going to be looking and vying for initial positioning really fast. Again, a call of a good Lucio is being able to rotate your team very quickly and very effectively. So I'm wondering if Timeless is going to be able to do that. Given their track record in the group stage, I would not be surprised whatsoever. But again, first initial picks, and something that I loved about Strix backline was their needless aggression in getting picks. We saw Divinity being able to get those initial picks on the Baptiste, which we see right now. But for the sake of content, and I think for the sake of the tournament, I would love to see a mirror with Rhine v Rhine. I think that'd be so fun. But I think the Sigma comp is smarter.
While I would agree with you, I would love to see the Ryan v Ryan mirror a little bit. You
Mhm.
kind of have to figure you have to figure out both these teams are pretty much, yeah, they're not here for content at the moment. They're here to win this tournament. And one series loss means they're already sent home packing here. So they want to play whatever their best kind of composition is here for Nepal.
Yeah, and so they've been screaming for these past 2 weeks. So I'm really excited where we're going to see here in this matchup coming.
Yeah, but I believe one of the teams is still having a little bit of trouble here getting all ready to go. So we're going to take a quick break and be right back with the star in Nepal.
Atlas Fighters Standoff. Choose your fighter. Cammy Tracer. Choose your fighter. Sakura Kiriko. Choose your fighter. Bison Sigma. Check out all this and more at goatsreviveshop.com.
All right, welcome back. They unpaused already, and already a first fight going on here. Timeless Obsidian not making any swaps of what we saw them, teasing us with, and we kind of maybe thought this would have been the case here, but Strix taking control of this high ground very early.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about. With that first positioning, that Symmetra able to get the high ground, and now that it's going to be Strix's game to try to go here first, I do want to talk about this Bastion transformation as the life does go off for both teams.
And you already see Crimson take care of Schizo Fish there, and that's going to be a great opening here for Strix, and then it's followed up with two amazing kills to open it up all the way. They're going to be able to take care of the first point cap here, and Timeless Obsidian now going to have to fall back a little bit.
Yeah, and this is the difference between these two compositions is that, Symmetra. Symmetra is able to just help the team rotate so quickly and so rapidly. As you saw there, Timeless not able to get a good position. They had to rotate all the way down through main, but now they're going to come through top right.
And they're able to find manually out here early. It's a lot of damage. And they also find Crimson Sloth going in, picking up two here right now. Schizo will be able to find Aberdings. And then Divinity, two double kills coming out for Strix here. Will be an easy point flip back in their direction, only allowing Strix here to get 26%.
Yeah, and that just came down to cooldown management. We saw that manually transform first, and then Sloth was able to just kind of abuse that fact right there, and they were just falling one by one. Not much to see right there, but it looks like they want to go main, maybe potentially speed here. So, maybe not.
Looks like they're just
keeping the point.
Straight the point. You already see Peace there set up the turrets on point. Now it's going to be really hard for Timeless to get back in here, and you see Strix flip the point. Divinity does have their Amp Matrix ready to go here. However, Crimson already falling early. The Amp Matrix coming out from both sides here at the moment. You do see YouTube find Divinity Piece manually all going by the wayside here. Everything's going to try to get themselves out of here, but you do see everyone here for Timeless following them, trying to get rid of them, and they will be able to. A nice, quick team fight there for Timeless.
A little bit of a stagger going there, a little bit of a question mark for Crimson. I think they just got caught out with the window there. Kind of unfortunate for Strix. Now but you saw how fast Strix was able to get onto point with that Symmetra, and now they're going to have wall here for this next point.
Here comes the flux from YouTube. It's going to be followed up with the barrage. Sloth finds 2. YouTube does find 1. It's just another quick team fight here for Timeless. And these have been insanely fast so far. Timeless just finally getting to 50% on this point cap.
Yeah, and all things considered, that was a very eco-friendly fight right there for Timeless, only using 2. They still have the beat available for this next push from Strix, as they are going to be speeding under.
And manually able to find manually with some help there from Dynasty, popping that overclock. Dynasty will find Crimson with the overclock as the beat comes out a little bit too late there from Aberdings. Strix trying to get something going here, but they're already down 2 people and maybe trying to get out. However, Divinity not going to be able to escape, and Strix getting set back to spawn as Peace going to jump off the map to regroup with their team. Aberdings playing a dangerous game here right now, but should be able to keep themselves alive.
Maybe, yeah, everything's get out here, but he committed the beat there when they were already down 2, so I'm kind of wondering if they were trying to think if they could win that with the Sim wall, but I feel Sim already got picked off there. So here we go, Strix. It seems like Timeless has their number with this high ground, so I think Strix should try to contest this high ground, and it looks like they're trying to fake out and get to this high ground. Here comes the wall.
Wall comes out the fake out, like you said, with the TP on the point here. Crimson still holding on to this shatter here. But right now, Strix needs to touch point. They're going to be able to do that, but you do see the beat come out here from Unred as they want to try to keep this point contested for a while. Unred getting incredibly low. Aberdeen's going to be able to find them there. The Immortality Field gone. Timeless, but you do see Strix pick up 2 kills. Are they going to make it a 3rd? They're not going to be able to make it 3 right away, but Aberdeen's going to take care of Sloth. The point already flipped here. Timeless Obsidian getting sent back to spawn, and look at that. Strix, all they needed to use in that fight was the Amp Matrix and the Photon Barrier.
Yeah, and again, they held onto that Photon Barrier from last fight, and that's kind of why they fell so quickly, but now they use it, and they was very good, and they still have the Shadow there, they still have Manually Ult. Good combinations coming out here, and we saw Timeless using their beat, one of the crucial ults, but we see Window coming up here, so I'm wondering how Timeless is going to be approaching this next fight.
And it looks like they want to go straight to point. You immediately see that window come out there from Timeless. Sloth able to find Aberdings. That's not what you want to see your Strix. The point immediately flipped back over in its favor. Strix now has to have someone touch. It's going to be Crimson. Able to use the shatter there. The artillery coming out here from Sloth will find one. Luca is able to punch Divinity into the ground, and Timeless will take the first point here.
Wow, okay, so Crimson doesn't use ult. That's totally fine. But, you know, great use of rotation there from Timeless, playing very patient, waiting for their position, and then just using the wall to just completely deny a sightline to Strix. And if you didn't see there also, Dynasty was on the flank, shooting back on the back of Strix right there, forcing them to kind of split their attention between the window and her and Dynasty. So very well done with them, splitting the attention, making sure, and if they can keep this up, maybe it can be a 2-0.
Yeah, and look at Strix right now. They're making some swaps here, manually in Peace, getting off of that Sim Bastion pick that they had last time, going over to the Soldier and May. And look at that, Crimson now swapping over to the Junker Queen as well.
Oh,
never mind.
Yeah, I kind of like this a lot better. They can just control space a lot more effectively here. Sure, they lose the rotational power, but they can now match Dynasty with that long range post on the Sojourn.
You already see a lot of abilities used there for Strix as they just try to make sure that no one falls to Sloth there in that assault mode, as just so much damage can be just pumped through the Bastion right there. Now Dynasty actually in a really good spot, trying to find a headshot. Maybe no one going to be able to show them just yet. They shoot that railgun shot, not able to find anyone there. Point is open. Dynasty going to be able to take it there for Timeless at the moment, as everyone for Timeless actually caught up between that wall. You do see Peace able to find Sloth there. There was a lot of the damage, and Timeless almost going to be able to cap pointer, but manually able to get Dynasty off its skits, though will be able to find Crimson here to try to even things out, but down a tank right now, Timeless is gonna have to fall back. I mean, no.
Yeah, and you know, great use of Maywall there, trying to isolate 2, and they're able to get the picks off there. Crimson playing really, really aggressive, and Timeless is doing a really good job of, you know, picking off that aggression and trying to force Strix rein in their Reinhardt player and Crimson and see here what they can do on point.
You immediately see Timeless go straight back to point. 15% is all that they allow Strix to get before they take it. And look at that. They take point, get off it, and now they're trying to set up for the fight. Strix, though, going to be able to come back and immediately try to get set up here. As you see the Amp Matrix come out here from Schizo. The Immortality Field immediately used to keep everyone alive, but look at that. Strix respecting it, getting off the point and realizing they have to wait for this ultimate to go away.
Yeah, that wall has just been, they've been blowing up Crimson's shield every single fight. And it's now we see the window is going to be coming up here. The Fire Strike doesn't find anything, but now they're going to be going solo onto YouTube.
And YouTube in a bad spot has to pop Flux to try to keep themselves alive. They're going to be able to find Crimson, but Peace immediately takes them out. So the Flux will not get all the value it needed, but they at least got rid of Crimson here. They're still holding on to point. Manly does have their own overclock ready to go. They immediately pop it. They find one. Blizzard coming out as well. You do see Unred get frozen there. Manly still looking for more, but Peace will be the only one to take care of Sloth there, and Strix able to retake the point.
Yeah, they retake, but it was really expensive. Ooh, they almost get a pick on Schizo there. It was kind of expensive, but both DPS ults are going to be available for Timeless, and they're really close to beat. Everything's less of a beat to match, but I think that, you know, they did use May ult there as well. So I'm wondering how they're going to be using this. I would like to see Crimson to use his ult, but we'll see how he goes from here.
Crimson getting very low here. The beat comes out, but look at that. Dynasty already popping their overclock. Gonna be able to find Manly in the backline. They find Crimson as well. Divinity will find Schizo here, but still, Timeless just picking up member after member. The artillery coming out here from Sloth will find Aberdeen's. Peace now the last one alive, not gonna be able to escape here as they're getting bullied in the corner there by Unred, and Timeless gonna be able to take the point back.
And Dynasty has just been on these flanks their entire match. They have not really focused on main damage, as you see Sloth is able to take care of the Rhine shield. Instead, Dynasty has been going on these flanks, looking to get the attention away from their team. And then they were able to find a pick there and open the fight beautifully in that last fight there. And they still have beats.
Yeah, and Crimson still holding on to a Shatter. They finally got it back. Never used a Shatter last sub map here, so I'm looking for them to use it here. The Ice Wall comes out, it hits Fortitude, but they don't hit Unred, who immediately pops the meteor to keep all their team alive. And look at what happens off that. Luca gonna be able to find Peace. The Amp Matrix coming out here from Divinity. Crimson immediately gonna find Schizo off of that here. Point still not flipped in favor of Strix here, but they are finding the kills they need. And Luca in a terrible spot right now in a 1v1 with the Rhine. They're gonna lose that one as Divinity comes in, and Crimson charging back to the point as Strix is gonna retake it.
Yeah, that was a really good beat from Unred, but, you know, Schizo falls in the midst of all of the chaos that happened, and Strix using the window, trying to stabilize, and they managed to do so. Crimson now on the side of Strix, not having many ults to work with, manually going to be coming up here as well as Peace, but the push here from Timeless is going to be brutal.
Amp Matrix ready here. They're going to immediately use it there. Crimson, they're going to be able to find Sloth. That's a huge pick, as Schizo, they're still able to find Peace, getting some value out of that Amp Matrix Flux. Coming out here from Luca, desperately trying to find anyone they're going to be able to find. Divinity, and they make sure they do not get the Immortality Field out there. They fall now. Aberdeen's getting incredible, going to be able to keep themselves alive due to Crimson and that shield as they back up into the room. However, Timeless here retakes the point. Strix needs to notice that, but they lose manually. And will we see a touch come back out here? Yeah, you see Crimson come back out. They still have Aberdeen's right there, but Crimson getting incredibly low. The Blizzard coming out from Peace. It's a Hail Mary throw. They're able to find YouTube there, but they're not going to be able to find any kills off its feet coming out from Aberdeen as the overclock coming out here from Dynasty on this high ground. Strix needs to get a touch here, but Dynasty is going to be able to find Divinity here, and now they're focusing on Peace. They're going to be able to find the Manly pops their overclock too, but finds nothing. Timeless Obsidian going to be able to take care of Strix here on Nepal and go up 1-0 in this series.
Wow, Timeless Obsidian showing up here, showing that they are ready to play today, going up 2-0 in that in kind of a convincing fashion, but not, they're still really, really close on these maps, ping-ponging back and forth constantly through the entire match. And I'm a little bit, speechless on what Strix was playing today.
I mean, like you said, it was kind of a ping-pong back-and-forth game. I don't think Strix necessarily looked bad. I just think maybe there were some points where they used some ultimates, didn't find a lot of value out of them, and it really didn't hurt them. The Shatter there, it found 4, yeah, that was a huge thing. It did force out beat, and they were able to win the fight, but I felt like it took them a little bit too long to win the fight off that huge Shatter from there. And then it just came down to, could they kind of hold a corner? But you talked about it a lot. Dynasty, able to kind of flank around, find an early kill, really open it up for time to get back into that point on the final sub map.
Yeah, and, it felt like Strix was just playing that much more lag behind. They weren't really confident in the kind of rotations they were trying to do once they got denied those first initial TPs on the first map there. So I'm really wondering how they're going to be going here. I think they're just going to need a mental reset here off control, as we are going to be heading into Bonnie for our second map here. So on New Bonnie, I'm expecting a little more dive compositions, but I wouldn't be surprised if they still try to force this in.
Yeah, I would not be surprised either. I mean, like we kind of said, we saw UCAS and Strix 2 weeks ago. They basically kind of ran the same thing through and through, but we kind of saw them divert from that a little bit here on that second sub point there on Nepal. Timeless, though, they kind of played around with a whole bunch of different comps. They ran a Diva Dive and one of the maps, one of the series that I saw them, or that I watched them play 2 weeks ago. Both on offense and defense, and worked out really well for them here. But with this being a best of 5 or first to 3, I mean, Strix doesn't necessarily need to worry about dropping that first map. Maybe if they drop the second map, they have to start to worry.
Yeah, if I'm Strix in this situation, I'm feeling like, okay, it's control. Control is notoriously very chaotic, very all over the place, so many flank angles. So I would just kind of calm down, bring it in again, like reset, go on to the second map, shake it off, and just play their game again. Because I think Strix, they had a lot going for them already. In that first series, they just had to clean it up just that little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, both teams looked good here. Mental resets probably needed for both sides here. Yeah, Timeless maybe might not need it more than Strix, but I mean, mental reset going into every map. If you look at every map you're going into as 0-0 as a brand new map, it probably will work out good for the teams here. But really, it comes down to what we're going to see from each side. And right now, Strix coming out on a dive comp here. Timeless, though, running what they ran the entirety of Nepal, minus Dynasty and Unread at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know if I like Echo Brig, but that's fine. I mean, it's not Echo Mercy, right? But no, I don't know if I expect Strix to be playing this dive composition here. I would kind of expect them to go back onto that Ryan comp, but if they do play dive, that would be very interesting into that Bastion Echo. Bastion Echo notoriously known to just burst down yep, and there it is, the swaps coming out, and they are going to be forcing this on Nuvani. They're going to try to TP onto that high ground or onto point really, really fast, and they're taking the very far route, try to hide their comp as long as they can.
Yeah, very interesting. I don't think I've really ever seen a team do that before here, but they're immediately get a, face up against Timeless sitting in here on the high ground. And I think the damage that Strix has right now will be able to kind of carry them through this fight here a little bit. You already see YouTube gets taken out there, and I believe Sloth gets charged off the map there. This is an incredible start for Strix.
Yeah, and very, very smart overall. I think that was just they had, I believe it was unread check for their composition really at the start, and since they did do that hiving maneuver, they didn't really expect them to have this Ryan composition rush, speed them down, and they just got caught out. So really well done from Strix. As, oh my god, Dynasty getting staggered just a little bit.
Dynasty getting taken out there by the right click there from Peace on the Symmetra. Good aim coming out there from the orb, and you immediately see everyone on Strix go to make some swaps. Soldier and May coming back out for them now. Timeless, though, really not making any swaps other than Dynasty going back over to the Soldier.
Yeah, and I really like this change here, as they know that Nomadi's second point is going to be a lot more open, so they want to control the field that they're going to be playing on, play around Crimzo, make sure that he doesn't insta-die in these fights, and try to force his Sigma to use all of his abilities at once. Maker
coming out immediately. You see Divinity get incredibly low, have to pop that immortality field to keep them all alive and keep themselves alive here. But now Timeless sitting again, respecting that Amp Matrix here. Schizo actually in kind of a peculiar spot here, a little bit away from the team. Doesn't look like anyone on Strix really realized that until manually noticed it. But you immediately see YouTube come back out. Dynasty getting incredibly low as well. Schizo doing a great job keeping everyone kind of supported here, as Strix starting to fall back a little bit, but they're just kind of regrouping here for a quick second and then coming right back into it. Amp Matrix coming out here from Schizo. They're going to immediately find Crimson off that here, trying to find Manly, but Manly able to slide away from it here. Immortality field coming out from the Divinity, trying to keep them alive. Sloth in the assault mode here, trying to melt manually, not going to be able to, though. Unread right there for the assist and kill. YouTube going to be able to find Averdings, and right now, if you're Strix,
goodbye.
just try to, regroup with your team. Peace eventually going to fall off the map to regroup.
Yeah, solid push from Strix there. Timeless able to just catch out Crimson yet again on the Reinhardt. And okay, so he's gonna be staying. I thought he was gonna swap. He has Shatter, but 4 ults, all on the side of Strix and on the side of Timeless Obsidian. The key difference is that Strix has Beat. Beat is such a great longevity fight, especially when you play for the long fight here in this brawl composition. So I'm really excited to see how Everything's going to use this beat here in this fight.
Flux comes out, I believe it cut off 5 there. Sloth immediately popping that artillery in the small room, not gonna be able to find anyone right away, but the beat coming out here from Aberdeen's here. You do see Divinity have that Amex ready to go, and they're immediately using it right here. They have a great shot, a lot of numbers, but it's gonna be Dynasty finding manually there. Look again, he's flanking in the backline here. Aberdeen's gonna be able to take care of them there, but it's even across the board here at the moment for both sides.
Yeah, and that's just a beautiful pick and from Dynasty. Died with ult, but doesn't matter as that's going to be a huge freeze. Going to be cleaning up here. Getting the second one. Sigma's going to be a little bit staggered now, but Bastion is still alive in the backline.
Bastion's still alive in the backline, but you know who's alive on the front line. It will be YouTube on that Sigma, taking care of Peace there. And they're a one-man wrecking crew at the moment. Manually coming back and be able to find Schizo there. So Manually only really has the health of Unread and whatever shields they can get back. You do see Crimson come back in. They used Shatter in the last fight. I don't think they really found any value off it here. Timeless Obsidian just trying to eat away as much clock as can as the overclock comes out here from Dynasty. Not gonna be able to find anyone there. Almost gets taken out by a railgun shot from Manly there. They immediately have to slide back away from them, keep themselves alive, but we Manly find them there with a railgun shot of their own. Flux coming out here from YouTube. Gonna be able to find one off that Crimson Falls before it, and Timeless Obsidian actually kind of stabilizing here, but Peace in that backline not gonna be able to find anyone as Luca shuts them down.
Luca has been on a tear on this Sigma. He had been playing so patiently when it comes in and manually gets staggered yet again. That's totally okay. But, you know, Luca has just been playing so patient on this Sigma, waiting for all the crucial cooldowns from Manually, from Peace, waiting for those cooldowns, and just being able to just stop the pressure that Strix is trying to push up. And with Crimson Shield being burned down by Sloth and Dynasty, there's not a lot of movement that Strix can do at this position comp right now.
The ice wall to get onto the high ground right now. Crimson trying to get as much damage as they can. The damage coming out from Divinity. Here comes the artillery strike from Sloth, trying to get whatever they can. Playing it very slow. They're going to be able to find Divinity. That's a huge pickoff there for Timeless as it gets rid of the main healing for Strix. Unread, though, will fall there to Peace. Unread making the swap over to Lucio. I do like the swap. It gives them a lot of option and a lot of speed to rotate out of stuff, as we've kind of talked about all series long here. But right now, YouTube just doing a good job kind of stabilizing and holding off Strix at the moment.
Yeah, and Strix swapping over to that Moira. I don't know if that's kind of like a Rage Moira or if that's trying to play a lot more smooth since they feel like can't do anything with fast. But we do have a beat here going into this, so they really need to force out this Dynasty.
Dynasty, but manually popping their overclock here, maybe trying to capture this point right now. They find Dynasty. Can they find a second one? It'll be huge for them. No, Crimson will take care of Luca, though, and Strix try and get the second point. They will be able to get the second point right there off of that team fight, and some amazing opening picks there from Manually.
Ray busts down. Luca goes down in that fight, finally. I want to say it was the Moira right-clicking when he shifted, but that's not true. But we do have a beat coming on here from both support ults coming up from Timeless. Fish and Unread are going to be going in here. And Timeless Obsidian coming up on a lot of ultimates versus Strix, who only going to have 2 in this next fight here. The wall does come down, and it forces Crimson to walk out.
They have to, but they still have 2 teammates in the backline here for Timeless, and they're desperately trying to run away. Crimson now going to come and try to save them. Stop that charge right there. Manly will be able to find Unread there with a railgun shot. They've been actually kind of on point with these railgun shots lately, but Dynasty popping their overclock, finds one, looking for 2 here right now, but everyone on Strix playing very safe around corners. Dynasty almost gets taken out by a railgun shot. The Shatter comes out from Crimson. They find 1, make it 2, make it 3 for the Reinhardt, but the Flux coming out here from Luca will be able to find Crimson, but look who it is. It's Manually shutting them down.
And, you know, very well done. Crimson being very patient with that Shatter, finding 2 and getting the picks. But Luca, again, has been playing so consistently here as they are going to try to get a little bit of push before they back out here. And it looks like they're going for a little bit of a reset. Peace died with his ult, so they will have the May ultimate coming in, but Unread still has the beat. So I'm wondering how they're going to be using this beat in this next fight. Will they wait? Will they be proactive with it?
Divinity also has Amex ready to go. They immediately pop it right there. The ice wall comes out. The blizzard comes out as well. The beat coming out a little bit early, but look at this. It's actually Timeless picking up 2 kills, make it 3 kills early. The blizzard coming out only does find Schizo, but at the end of the fight, those 2 ultimates that you could potentially consider to be fight-winning ultimates find nothing.
Yeah, and Peace kind of just chucking that for us, trying to catch out the Baptiste, but the wall with Sloth on the Bastion just completely melting off Peace from the face of the earth. We do have a beat from Avertings coming up and Manually with their ult as well. So I'm going to see if they can try to find these opening picks. Strix has been struggling finding these opening picks, getting picked off themselves. So I really want to see a good ult here from Manually.
Yeah, and like I kind of mentioned, they have been doing a lot better with their railgun shots and these overclocks as of late. So I expect a lot of good things from him here when they pop this ultimate right now. But you immediately see the fight kind of going here. Melee wants to try to take it around this corner here, maybe get in the background, not gonna be able to find anything. Peace has to ice block to keep himself alive there. Sloth incredibly close to that artillery strike here. They're gonna be able to have it. The flux coming out immediately finds Divinity. Everything tops the beat there. Here comes the artillery strike. Will not find anyone, but you see two make it 3 more kills, follow that up, and it's all just manually alive after that. Yeah, they'll find Dynasty, but they do not complete the map.
That Sigma Bastion combo is just so cool. Some might call it wombo combo.
There's the first one of the night. Let's go.
We're here all night, baby. Woo! But you know, I think Timeless is being so patient and so disciplined with their ultimate and ability usage here against Strix. Strix is just playing very in your face, very rush style, and it forces Timeless to kind of just wait. It just makes them wait. And Strix is not able to find an answer to such a patient and disciplined opponent as Timeless Obsidian. So what I really want to see Strix do is kind of adapt away from the Reinhardt here, as we do see the Sigma.
I do like this from Strix. Honestly, in my opinion, Strix, they have to have a good defense on this first point. Remember how fast Strix captured. It was one team fight and done. Timeless Obsidian came out running a couple different heroes that didn't necessarily work out for them immediately. You saw an Echo. I don't think they really found any value with that here. You see Strix coming out with it again here, but I don't think they expect a Timeless Obsidian to come out here running the same comp they did. So I feel like this is going to work out really good for Strix here. They just need to try to make it last maybe 2-3 team fights if they allow Timeless to even cap.
Yeah, and you know, like you said, Strix looking for a long hold here, but with Timeless's comp, yeah, they don't have the sim TP, but given how well they've been, you know, doing these rotations and playing on high ground, I wouldn't expect them to just kind of force their way onto the high ground, force all the cooldowns from Strix. And it seems that Strix is the one using all the cooldowns first. Yeah, you see they're going to be pushing on the high ground.
Nice block there of the accretion, and you immediately see Luca pop that grass there to try to eat as much of the assault mode there. Unread, Mr. President there of that accretion, but Unread will eventually be taken out there by Peace with those sticky grenades, and that's actually a really good start here for Strix. It gets rid of Lucio, their main kind of get-out tool, and you're just desperately seeing them maybe try to get out, maybe try to stay in this fight, but losing Sloth there, your main damage, and you're gonna lose Dynasty there as well. You're gonna see him rotate out of this one here.
He's on this Echo has gotten 2 picks in this fight, already at 75%. Just building that out so freaking fast right now. It's the highest in the game right now, next to Fish with their ult. As we do see that window is going to be available here really soon. So again, it's just going to be who can get these initial picks first, and it's just been Strix on this Echo so far.
Skitzer does have that Amethyst ready to go here. I would not be surprised if they immediately pop it on that high ground, but Peace kind of not even being bothered at the moment. No one really focusing on him. Has to duplicate here to keep themselves alive. They immediately lose it, and they are getting healed up to keep themselves in this fight. So 2 ultimates gone, or an ultimate gone for each side. You're not really necessarily finding any value, but Aberdeen's making that brig work great so far. Gonna be able to find Sloth there with that whip shot. Now it's Dynasty again flanking around away from their team, but as they do that, they lose a tank and they lose one of their main support there, and Dynasty now in a very bad spot.
Yeah, Dynasty looking like they might be getting staggered. I think they're going to try to play life. I mean, Strix can't really go fishing, but Dynasty, them splitting the attention of Strix is really good, but I think Strix finally found a way to kind of deal with that, and that's just commit into the 4v5 rather than trying to deal with the person trying to deal, and that's what's been going in here, as they are going to go fast onto point here. Luca's going to have an ult here really soon.
Yeah, Strix not going to allow him to get up to 1 tick. The rally coming out here for Aberdeen. Peace going to be able to find Sloth as the flux comes out here from Luca. Not going to be able to find anyone off that Dynasty, though. Does pop their overclock, but they immediately get shut down there by Crimson. And this Strix team is one that looks completely different from what the Strix we've seen so far tonight.
I think, and it comes down to them not being on Reinhardt, being quite frank. You know, they're able to just hold all the pressure that Timeless is pushing into them. With that Ryan, all they had was the shield, and the shield just kind of went down. When you with this Sigma, you have his eat, you have his accretion, you have his shield, you know, you have this big health pool that is a tank. You know, so Crimson able to now play the game a lot more proactively and use cooldowns a lot more effectively, which makes it so that Strix can control more space.
Yeah, look what Strix has right now. They're already using that wombo combo, the beat, though, coming out here from Unread to try to keep them all alive. It's going to do a good job at first, and it will do a good job through the end there with that immortality field coming out there from Schizo. Keeps everyone alive. Peace duplicating here into a Sigma. There are 3 Sigma males on the field of play right now. The artillery strike coming out here from Sloth will not find anything other than an immortality field. The animation is now coming out from Divinity as they try to take care of Luca. Not going to be able to here. And Peace trying to get a flux off. Not going to be able to there. Peace focusing in on Unread, who was trying to be a little bit sneaky on those walls there, but Peace saw him out and took care of them. Now it's Dynasty on point right now with, I believe, Sloth. Luca eventually follows with Final Obsidian getting a tick here.
Ooh, he's finally getting that pick, and you know, they played it so patiently. Verdings was the only support alive here, and Bastion on point, potentially get the cap here, but it's going to be Divinity who did fall first, but now it is just going to be the cleanup from the side of Strix, committing the Brig ult, making sure that no one dies again so they don't lose the point here. 10 seconds left on the clock here for Timeless Obsidian. They don't have many ults outside of Luca. I don't know if they're even going to be able to get a touch.
It's all up to Unread, but they get stunned out of their flux there. Unread gets taken out by Manually, and Strix gonna be able to tie this series up at 1 after an excellent Numbani.
They were able to bring it back into this, and they were able to again adapt to the play style that the Timeless Obsidian is presenting to them with that Sigma. And I love the switch that Strix did to the Sigma in the latter end of that game, because they were then able to play a lot more proactively. With that Ryan composition, he had to be able to play so aggressive, be the first aggressor, and you kind of had minimal options when it came to how do you approach it. You can either shift, you can wait for a window, or you just walk up with shield. But with Sigma, you have a lot more options on how you want to approach fights. And now you put the ball in the table of Timeless Obsidian, and we saw what that was like. So Timeless Obsidian going down, now it's a tied series. I like the way that Strix is adapting here.
Yeah, and honestly, you know, we talked about it a little bit. Strix was kind of hard set with their comp in 2 weeks ago. Timeless Obsidian was the one that was kind of flexible with their comps. But so far, throughout the night, Strix has been very flexible, and really Timeless Obsidian, we've only seen the one comp come out for them. Maybe a couple swaps here and there, but it necessarily hasn't really worked out when they just kind of, you know, did go away from that one comp that was really working for them.
Yeah, and you know, I love that this is now what we're going to see. I want to see a Strix that does want to deviate from the norm, from what they know, because this team has been scrimming a lot of different compositions. So I want to see how deep these hero pools go and how flexible how responsive Timeless Obsidian is going to be into that.
Yeah, but with that being the end of the second map of this series, we're going to take a quick break and be right back with map number 3. All right, welcome back everyone to the Atlas Fighters standoff here. Strix able to tie up the series against Timeless Obsidian on Numbani 1-1 now, but hey, do you guys miss those old arcade slots, the ones that suck down your last quarters? Well, the Goats Revive shop isn't selling arcade machines yet, but they are selling some cool Kami Tracer, M Bison Sigma, and Sakura Kiriko posters on their website. Remember, that is goatsreviveshop.com. You can pick up those there. You can also pick up stickers, shirts, and even LED mouse pads. So remember, goatsreviveshop.com. But hey, Kaylee, we have seen an incredible series so far. These two teams are putting on a show for us.
Yeah, and this is what we kind of expected coming into this series. We have fan favorites here and people who swept their groups in this match here. So this is kind of one of the most anticipated matches here, and they are showing up for it. We have Strix finally being able to adapt to what the Sigma composition that Timeless has brought. I'm wondering if Timeless is going to now swap off of that Sigma composition as we do go into Flashpoint here.
Yeah, Flashpoint, it's kind of been essentially you want to try to play fast, so that normally leads into a lot of rush, maybe even some Doom for some Junker Queen. But we did see teams kind of say, we're just going to run Brawl still on it. We're going to run Ryan. We're going to run Orisa on it, especially in Owl and some other levels of play. You're still going to see those kind of comps run here. But Kaylee, you're heading into it, what do you necessarily think is the kind of best comp to run on Flashpoint?
Right now, I think anything that can force cooldowns from your opponents, again, is all just a cooldown game when it comes to control Flashpoint. These very hectic, very fast-paced can you force your opponents to use those major cooldowns so you then can get those first picks? So I'm going to be looking at, I think it's going to be still Bapalucio in the backline, and we still see like people like Dynasty playing on the Sojourn, getting those initial picks. I think that this is where they could still run the Sigma on the tanks, but I wouldn't be surprised if Strix does go back to their bread and butter, Sim Bastion, and the Reinhardt to try to win off of that brawl, since they do have the momentum going into map number 3, as we are going to head into Suravaso for our third map.
Yeah, Suravaso definitely been probably the preferred of the two Flashpoint maps so far. Wish we got a third one coming up here, but no, we get another control map, I believe. But hey, yeah, Samoa, it looked a great map. Look, I have nothing against the map, nothing against it, but just kind of
coconuts.
Coconuts. I mean, you can fall in the lava. Like, come on.
Yeah.
But like Suravaso, definitely the preferred one of the two Flashpoint maps so far, and you can kind of see why. I just don't think a lot of people like New Junk City. I really think that's just it.
And it is a shame. I do like the theme music. It is so cool. If you haven't listened to it, go take a look and turn on your music back on in the game. Watch music. Perfect. But Suravaso here is just a lot more space to play around, a lot more corners and corridors that your team can play in to not get all this pressure that is available in New Junk City, right? With all that openness available here. At least with Suravaso, you have all these corridors that players can play in. And I'm going to wonder if Strix does go back onto that, just like a Sigma composition. Timeless is holding on to the Sigma composition, but Strix going to be showing a new face here with the Junker Queen Genji combination.
I mean, they did tease us with the Junker Queen in the past and then swapped off it, but the Junker Queen is kind of made for Flashpoint, in my opinion. Shout and all the abilities that she has just really makes her a really good tank for this game mode.
And when I see Strix's composition, I think if they're going to keep it, I think of, okay. Strix is known to just bait the commentary, like the desk. Thank you so much. Love you, Strix. But they're going to be playing this composition. So again, they really need to play around their corners and really take it more proactively on what they do here.
And you see each team here is kind of facing up against each other. Actually, because of that disrupting shot, and Dynasty opening it up already, finding manually, that's a lot of damage out. They also lose their main source of healing, and now their second most source of damage. Crimson falls as well. Aberdeen is going to be the only one to escape, and this is a quick team fight. Win and point and cap here for Timeless.
And this is the worry I had when I saw them swap back into the Rhine Sim composition. Yeah, you have all this potential to do big rotational plays, but looking at Timeless's comp, something we haven't talked about a lot is how much poke is on this team, right? You have Fish on the Baptiste and Dynasty able to get these picks with these long-range compositions, and then Luca able to build his ultimate without having to fit into the brawl range of Crimson. But they are going to be forcing themselves right into the face of Timeless Obsidian.
You already lose manually. However, you do see Timeless lose Fish and Unread Slothflung as well. But you do see Timeless here kind of stabilize a little bit on point. They do have their tank still alive. Crimson, though, kind of fighting there. Luca will eventually fall to Crimson, as Crimson still does have Aberdeen's right there, but Crimson's still incredibly low. One good railgun shot here from Dynasty will still be able to take him out, but Dynasty eventually just going to surrender this fight, but they're going to be able to find Crimson. What?
I mean, you know, we take those, but they do get the flip and on the point, so so the Timeless is not going to be building any more points here. But now they're down their tank here, and I don't think they're going to be able to hold on to this without committing a bunch of ults that they just don't have.
Yeah, I mean, they just got their Amp Matrix here, and you already see Timeless take the point right back. Both teams have Amp Matrix ready to go. Dynasty does have that overclock, and they have been successful with their overclocks in the past. TP, though, coming out here from Strix as the Amp Matrix come out from both sides. Each team kind of have to just stare right into them at the moment. However, it will be Sloth finding manually out here again early manually. We keep calling them early in the team fights. They keep falling early in the team fights. Dynasty are going to be able to find Aberdeen's here, and the first point going to be able to go over to Timeless here, and Timeless just cleaning up this point.
Strix, you know, I'm really scratching my head on why they went back onto this composition when they do have that big poke game on the Timeless Obsidian. Luca's just been able to absorb all the pressure that Strix is. You saw in the beginning of that fight, Divinity dropping the window, but Luca really had to do was hold the shift, and all the damage that came out really got mitigated, and forcing Strix to then just play right up in your face and just dying to Sloth transformation.
And look at all the ultimates ready as Peace can't be able to find unread out early. That's huge for them. The TP comes out, the Flux coming out though. A lot of ultimates coming out here for Timeless, but you see the Shatter and the B coming out here from Strix, and Strix on top in this fight right now, just trying to clean up the rest of Timeless. Gonna be able to cap point here first, and now kind of staggering out Luca here. Luca eventually just has to jump into the pit of despair and regroup with their team.
And this is exactly what Strix wants to happen with their composition. They want to be able to get an initial pick potentially with manually, with Peace, with Divinity, and then just hop right on top of the tank player since they're down and force these 4v5 fights where they have to play really fast and play really and hope that the enemy team makes a mistake. But Timeless showing how disciplined they are on these compositions, and now we're going to see them go back to point and force Timeless to come walk into a choke with Sebastian.
And you see Peace does have the Photon Barrier ready to go. You immediately see the Artillery Strike come out here from manually, not going to be able to find anything off the back here. And Strix using all their ultimates here at the moment. Divinity very close to an Amp Matrix here. As you see the TP come out there from Peace onto the high ground, going to be able to find Schizofish off that, and that will force Timeless here to fall back as they lose their main source of healing.
Yeah, very smart there with Peace with that TP. Get that high ground, force the Baptiste to kind of back off and eventually die. But both windows are going to be available to both teams. And I'm wondering how Dynasty is going to be using this ult here on the flank here. And it manually does get Luca, so I don't know if they're going to be able to contest anymore.
No, they're not, and you saw Dynasty there. They were trying that flank again. They immediately fell back once they lost Luca there. A smart play coming out from Strix, able to tie this map up. Unread, though, gonna be able to find pieces. A huge pickoff here for them, but Sloth not gonna be able to escape Crimson, and now Timeless City actually in kind of a precarious spot.
Yeah, Timeless, I mean, both teams getting staggers as they go onto this rotation, but it looks like Timeless is going to be the first one to get onto this next point here. Excuse me. No. Yeah, so I got confused because Luca's now on Reinhardt. Okay, so Luca's on Reinhardt now. So now that Strix is able to play a little bit more aggressive now that they don't have the poke that's coming out from the Sigma.
And Matrix coming out here from Fish, but basically, I think Crimson just kind of straight up walked in front of it and said nuh-uh to it, but look at all this death coming out here from Timeless. 4 members down, make it a happy birthday there for Dynasty as they pick up Divinity and manually.
Yeah, and Window and Soldier are going to be committed here from Timeless to make sure they get that point flip here. But again, now they're playing very much to the style of Strix, as we do see Peace go onto that Mei. So now that there's a Rein here, Mei's going to make it super hard for Luca to just push up and get any aggression done here, as they are going to be the first one to make a move.
Sloth's gonna be able to find Crimson there. I think Crimson maybe tried to pop a shatter there, but they're able to actually hold on to it there. Dynasty finds Divinity, and I really like seeing Timeless be very aggressive here. With how fast that percentage builds up in Flashpoint, they are easily building themselves another about 20% even if they lose a team fight.
Yeah, and this is just so well done from Timeless. This is how you should be playing this composition, playing very fast, being the aggressor, but not over-committing. We saw there, Luca does go forward in, but does not swing their hammer. Instead, they hold their shield, make sure the Bastion is not going to die immediately when they go in with the turret form. So I want to see if Timeless can be able to do this again as they go on the rotation here.
Shatter's ready for both sides here. I'm waiting for one of them to pop off here. You know they're both looking for it here. Beats ready for both sides as well. You already see the MX come out. Shatter comes out here from Timeless. It hits 3, and you see Luca here get carried away by Crimson, but Crimson will be able to take him out. The beat coming out from Averings does keep some people alive, but Unred can be able to find peace. Artillery coming out here from Manly as it's desperately needed here, as they are in overtime on this point right now. People just looking for anyone they can. Crimson trying to use this this Fountain as a kind of a shield at the moment. Dynasty, though, going to be able to find Divinity. Dynasty finds Manly. Schizo finds Averings. Unred finds Crimson, and Timeless Obsidian going on to map point.
Dynasty has been on a tear this entire series. Being on the high ground, being on those flanks, coming out from out of nowhere to just get 3 picks every single time to just close out these fights. We have to keep an eye on where Dynasty is, because Dynasty has just been getting the picks on the side for Strix and forcing Strix to play in very uncomfortable situations.
And Dynasty has this overclock ready to go. They could use it early in this fight, and there's really nothing that Strix can try to counter with. They do have a Blizzard coming up. Maybe they can try to do it with that, but if Dynasty finds an early pick off here, they pop it. So does the Blizzard coming out here from Peace as well, but no one's going to get frozen there. It's actually going to be Manually finding Dynasty out. A huge pick off there for Strix, as they're going to be able to cap point here first, but they do lose Manually right after that charge coming out there. Will not really find a lot of value there, as that Immortality Field does keep Luca alive. But now Timeless is sitting kind of in a tough spot right now, as you do see Luca come back on to party. Now the Amix, though, coming up to try to hold them off here for the moment. They're trying to boot them away, but at the same time, that Amix in a very good spot.
And Timeless was sitting and playing this so patiently, waiting for those crucial cooldowns to come back as he wait for Dynasty to come back, take the 5v5, and now it's going to be, the wall's going to be taken off before that, the beat is going to be committed.
And Sloth able to find Crimson there. That's a huge pick off there for Timeless. And now Peace falls as well. Divinity join them in the spawn. Avertings as well. What a nice kind of team fight there from Timeless. I thought Luca charging in there, getting ice walled off, might have been the end of that fight, but the beat coming out from Unred saved it.
Yeah, and again, Timeless waiting so long, waiting for Dynasty to come back into that, and Strix not really being the aggressor in that position, trying to force the 4v5, but now they're playing on the back foot. They do have the Shatter and the Beat coming in, but look at the other team. Luca, Sloth, and Fish having all 3 of their ultimates. Window is on the table for Timeless, and you've seen how strong their windows have been so far this series. And here it is.
And it's in a very good spot. That choke almost makes it impossible for Strix to get in here, and especially with that disrupting shot putting right there in that secondary window, it's really gonna slow down Strix here. You do see the artillery coming out here from Sloth, the beat coming out from Avertings, as you do see it all put on to Peace, and Sloth can be able to find 1, but Crimson coming in, finding 3 early, looking for 4 Divinity. They'll get to clear the final 2, and Strix will retake the point.
Blood for the Blood God Crimson, getting 2 there with that play there. Poor Peace getting shattered and ulted from both sides on Timeless Obsidian. But Timeless Obsidian committing all their ults into that fight just to lose it. Dynasty, yeah, they're going to be having their ultimate here, but look at the side of Strix. They have 3 ultimates coming up on window as well. They have all the positioning they would ever need. And here we go, Manually going to be opening it up. I don't think that Timeless can be able to touch, but it looks like they're going to be able to, but with a weakened position.
They're going to force a touch out here. They do get a touch that at least force overtime. Blizzard coming out here from Peace. Looks like it kind of misses all the targets they were looking for here, but they do find Luca off at Dynasty, though. Coming alive, will find 1, but no one. Timeless touches point, and we're gonna get a final point here on Saravasa. But Dynasty, though, still wants to get a couple kills in the kill feed. Does pick up 2, Sloth will pick up Manually, but oh, the C9. You will love and hate to see it.
Yeah, Timeless with the Dynasty able to get a pick there initially. If they were just on point, yeah, they could have flipped and won the map there, but unfortunately, they did just kind of jump off. We are going to be now going to this what I consider one of the most open points here on Saravasa. So now we see Strix is going to be having the first positioning here, and they have the Shatters, though they still have window. Fish 70% to window as well. So I'm really wondering how they're going to be using this window usage here. See if they can force the crucial cooldowns from Timeless Obsidian. Can they get to the... And it's going to be Dynasty except picking up Divinity.
And you do see just everyone on Timeless just walk in front of that Amp Matrix here, but they're still finding some value of it. 3 kills going the way of Strix here, and they get rid of Luca, kind of trading out there for Crimson. Manually get to shut down Dynasty there, and now it's just, I believe, Unred just getting out of there as Strix already caps point here first.
Berting's got 2 picks in that fight, playing for that Reddit. Lucio Frogger would be so happy, as they are going to have Beat and Shatter here for this next fight. Window also on the time of Timeless City, but Beat coming up from Strix would be the counter to that. So I'm wondering how are they going to position themselves? Can they keep a track of Dynasty and make sure they don't get their picks? And Window is going to come out here, but Shatter!
Shatter comes out, does find one. Crimson though falls, they do lose Fish. Sloth falling as well. It's getting traded out both ways here. The beat coming out here from Aberdings as they want to try to hold on to this one because at the percentage right now, this could be final fight. They're trying to throw punches there at Dynasty. Peace coming in, taking care of Luca, and I don't think anyone for Timeless Obsidian is going to be able to come back.
That was such a good beat from Evertings. Yeah, you lose a little bit there, but then you beat to make sure you're insured to get the touch there, as it's going to be 99%. The beat not going to be able to drop, and it is going to be Strix taking it up 2-1 in the series against Timeless.
And honestly, these last two maps is kind of what I expected this series to be. Back and forth, close games, honestly. Strix coming out on top here. Timeless Obsidian looked really good on some points, and they looked like they were struggling at other points. You could say the same thing for Strix as well. They looked really good, and they both look kind of like they struggled throughout different points on this map. But Strix coming out on top now, putting themselves on series point. One map win away from securing themselves a spots in the semifinals.
Oof. I love that. That was such a good map. Strix, again, coming up on top for that. What it really came down to was Strix finally getting it together, finally tightening up their ship, playing this Rhine composition. Yeah, they tried to play with the Sim, but it did not work. It seems like Timeless has finally understood the Sim Bastion composition. So now it looks like Strix is going to be trying to force onto the Mei. Something interesting that happened was Timeless swapping onto the Rhine mirror against Strix, which really had me scratching my head. The Sigma was working really, really well, absorbing all of this pressure from Strix. So I'm wondering what you think about the Rhine swap here from Timeless and what that really did. I think that's what did it in for them, but it was still a really close series.
I think it is what did them in, but at the same time, I don't think it's really what did them in as well. I mean, the Rhine mirror was not something I expected to see, but I wasn't, mad to see it. I do think Luca did a really good job on the Rhine, but I think when it came down to it, Shatters across both sides necessarily didn't find a lot of value, but Luca's didn't do enough to kind of push that needle in favor of Timeless Obsidian there. Yeah, maybe sticking on the Sigma there would have been the right call, but I just feel like with how aggressive Strix was being, especially with the Reinhardt, they needed to try to get off that and focus on something that could keep themselves alive a little bit longer.
Yeah, and that's just how it is. But I think also something that happened during that series was Evertings turning on. Evertings was now marking Dynasty the entire set. You saw it there, completely making it so there's pressure on there. As I think we do have Esperanza as the next map. But again, Evertings showing up here, marking Dynasty, because Dynasty has been kind of the key play holder for Timeless Obsidian. And now that they have someone marking them, I want to see if Timeless can adapt to that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we talked about it a little bit already, and I brought it up. Timeless Obsidian, I kind of came in, and from what I saw 2 weeks ago, they were a very flexible team. They played a lot of different comps. So far tonight, we've seen Sigma and Ryan, basically the two same DPS. There's been some change in the support line, but they haven't really been flexible. Strix has made a couple changes throughout the series so far, and it's really worked out for them. I think Timeless needs to make some changes here.
Yeah, if I was on Timeless, I think that you thought you figured it out, but then they figured you out, so now you need to figure them out. And it's just been this ping pong this entire series of which team has understood the other team's composition more. So I'm really excited to see what we are going to do here on Push. As we're going to go to Esperanza. Love this map. It's kind of a favorite overall. I think it's my favorite Push map.
Yeah, probably. I would agree with you there. I mean, Esperanza, you can play a lot of different comps, in my opinion, and I feel like picking this map means you're basically leaving yourself at a kind of a neutral kind of setting because you can play those different comps. And I'm really looking to see what Timeless comes out with here. They've been flexible in the past. I expect them to be flexible now with their series and playoff run hanging in the balance.
Yeah, and I think Timeless here, I would like to see a little bit more of a dive style out of them if they're going to be, but no, it's looking like they still want to run this Sigma composition. And yes, it does really, really well into Strix, as they are expecting Strix to go on this Sim composition, which they look like they're going to try to do, as Mei really doesn't do well in this kind of more open environment that is Esperanza and Push. So again, Timeless Obsidian, play patiently. Kind of be aggressive if you find opportunity, but I feel like they're just going to be hanging back, waiting for Strix to make a mistake. But Dynasty is actually going to go on the Mei here.
I don't hate it. May can, ice wall off certain members of the team. Probably going to be focusing on Crimson a little bit. But with Manually right there, I mean, they can easily just kind of melt through that ice wall going into that assault mode. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Dynasty plays this May and if they even swap off it. But a nice TP getting Strix behind everyone here. But you immediately see Timeless Obsidian kind of go around the clock tower here to keep themselves safe.
Yeah, and this is just a lot of the cooldown use. Both assault modes have been used, and now it's going to be Strix looking to see if they can force that pick. But again, here comes that Maywell, forcing the Reinhardt to play there. They have forced to use the lamp, and now there's no shield for it. Crimson finally does fall, and then we see that all of Strix just falls apart once they lose that tank player.
They lose a tank player, but it really all came down to how many abilities they had to use to try to keep Crimson alive. You saw the immortality field come out. You immediately saw Peace, or I believe it was Manually actually, who was on the Bastion at the time, go into that soul mode, and it just allowed Sloth, once that ice wall came down, to kind of melt them down there. Just so much was used to try to keep Crimson alive that it really didn't help out the team throughout that entire fight, and now Timeless going to be able to get the kind of first lead here.
Yeah, as they are going to be pushing into them, trying to stop them from pushing underneath this bridge. Again, it's a very important landmark here, as we do still have assault mode on cooldown here, 80% on window from Schizo, as they are going to be pushing on the high ground.
You immediately see Crimson trying to just push through that ice wall, not necessarily the best one coming out there from Dynasty, but you see Sloth here just trying to melt down Crimson's shield, and they're going to be able to find Crimson Peace, not able to get that ice wall up in time. And let's see if Strix is going to all fall apart again, losing their tank. However, Aberdeen's going to be able to find Sloth, but that might be the only thing they get this fight.
Yeah, and it's just, this is what this Bastion does into Crimson. I mean, it's very clear that Sloth is playing Bastion just so that he can force Crimson to not be as aggressive. Rein in that dog. You know what I mean? So it's going to be, Timeless Obsidian almost here on 5 ults here. Strix not really going to be able to match that. As we see Dynasty almost to the ult here, and they're not even going to get to halfway checkpoint to stop it. So this is a really, really important key checkpoint here, because now Timeless can just push as free as they would want and not have to wait for a specific fight here. So this is a really big pickup for Timeless.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're not even 2.5 minutes into this map at the moment, and Timeless City already has a really good spot here. Like you said, they have the forward buff. Oh no, this is going to be deadly here. The flux coming out. Crimson will find Dynasty to be coming out from Aberdeen to keep him alive, but Sloth with the wombo combo gets the happy birthday, gets 2 people. Luca can be able to find Manly here, and Strix all just getting sent to the box back to spawn.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Strix delivering a present to Timeless Obsidian there. Wow. I mean, they were forced to use B, and they even committed window from Strix, but just the sheer amount of damage coming out from the Bastion ult and Luca just was too much for them to handle, and they were trying to get a pick on Dynasty, who seemed to be out of position, but Luca just then was able to wrap around, and now we see that it's going to be 84% here, as they are going to try to battle on point.
Oh no, the Blizzard. Dynasty baited Strix in to throw the Blizzard. It won't find anyone, but look at what it does. They find Peace off at Crimson really low as well. Timeless is looking like a well-oiled machine. Strix looking like that car you see on the side of the road that's been there for 10 years.
Not the Toyota Corolla, but I'm really wondering how Strix is able to stop this momentum. Unread, again, with a beat. Gonna be here, gonna control any progressive direction that Strix is gonna be able to throw their way. But with Pieces, Pieces may ult, that really is gonna be able to reset the point here if they use it effectively. So I'm really wondering here, Unread almost goes down, but now they're gonna be pushing in with Manually's ult.
Manly pops the overclock, the Blizzard coming out as well. They finally get 1 kill, make it 2 kills. How about 3? You like 3? How about some more? Here comes 4. They find Unread, and they're going to be able to find Fish there as well, but they're actually going to stagger them out a little bit here. Oh no.
Yeah. Oh no!
I love this play from Strix. This is actually really smart.
Yeah, I mean, it's staggering out Fish, their main support. It really forces a Timeless to just give so much space. So much. Oh, they're not. So now they're even staggered even longer. So now Strix getting a little bit of all this free push, and given the distance they now have to overcome, this is well-needed space they need. And now they're controlling this high ground that's very popular when it comes to forward spawns, but it looks like they're only going to be playing low ground now. Crimson still with the Shatter, and with Divinity coming back with the wall, this could be very good for Strix if they're able to play their cards right.
Yeah, and Crimson definitely looking for that Shatter here. All they have to do is walk in front of YouTube. Stunned out of it! A huge accretion there from Luca, and that immediately turns this entire team fight in favor of Timeless here. The animators coming out will not find anyone there. It all fell apart before it even started there for Strix.
And that's just, Crimson falling to the dreaded LOS issue right there. But, they were able to just completely blow up Crimson right there. Not able to be playing fast enough so Vernix can use the beat. Manually almost going down here. And it's looking like they're just going to stagger themselves as Timeless Obsidian is going to be pushing, getting the forward spawns here on this map here. And I'm wondering what Strix is going to be able to do against 4-5 ultimates from Timeless Obsidian.
The beat can only save you so much. Peace gonna have to build up this Blizzard really fast here if they want to try to keep themselves alive throughout this fight. But you see the damage coming out here from Fish early, the flux coming out from Luca, the beat coming out from Everdix trying to keep them all alive. Does a good job so far. Peace getting stunned out, the beat fading away as you see the artillery strike coming out here. They will find one, make it to another happy birthday in this game here for Sloth. YouTube going after Peace here. No ice block available for them. And right now, finding Aberdeen's Timeless in the home stretch. Will Strix be able to get out? You see some swabs coming out from them.
Strix just has not been able to figure out what to do into this Timeless composition. Moira gonna go in for a touch, but I think it's not for naught. But here comes the freeze.
Oh, the Blizzard was actually huge. Manly will find one, but here comes a Blizzard from Peace. Manly gonna have to get in there, do whatever they can. They're not gonna be able to do anything there. Dynasty, though, I love the play there with the Blizzards. They just tossed it straight up in the air. It came crashing back down to earth and ended up finding 3. But look at this. Timeless Obsidian forcing a map 5 in our first series of the night.
And this is exactly what I expected from these two teams, bringing it and making it so close. But Timeless showing here that this wasn't close at all. This was a very different look of Timeless from Suravasa. They completely controlled the space they wanted to do, completely controlled the tempo of the game. And just from there, they were able to close it out with a map completion on push.
And that's something very rare to see in any type of game. Quick play, calm, and especially some tournament like this. It's almost, like I said, really rare to see. They were dominant that map. Probably that's the best they've looked since the first map of Nepal, in my opinion.
Yeah, and this just goes to show the strength they have with this Sigma composition. Flexibility be damned. This is what's working right now for them on this composition that Strix is running. So as we are going to go into map number 5 after a quick break, I'm wondering what Strix has to do in order to figure out the Sigma composition. And I feel like it's going to be that Sigma mirror.
Yeah, but like you said, we're going to go to a quick break and be right back with map 5.
Atlas Fighters Standoff. Choose your fighter. Cammy Tracer. Choose your fighter. Sakura Kiriko. Choose your fighter. Bison Sigma. Check out all this and more at goatsreviveshop.com.
All right, welcome back, everyone. We have a map 5 on our hands coming up here. But hey, remember right now to pre-order your Dubby Steel Cup. It's a great, capable steel cup that comes in both black and white. And if you use the code GOATSREVIVED at checkout, you will get 10% off your entire purchase. Remember, GOATSREVIVED at checkout. Kaylee, what a series. I mean, we talked about it after the last break, but it has gotten insanely better since then. Something that both me and you were hoping for coming into it.
Yeah, and you know, I'm so happy we got a game 5 here. They're making it so close each map, you know, except for that last one where Timeless seemed to have figured out Strix. But you know, game 5 now, it is now game time. Previous maps don't matter. Now what it has to come down to is how do you execute this last map? And, you know, if I'm on the side of Strix, I'm scratching my head, seeing if they still run the sim composition, which it looks like the Timeless has figured out. But, you know, I want to see them kind of do a little bit more adaptation to Timeless's composition and force Timeless to be in a more uncomfortable situation.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, after Esperanza there, that was the best map we saw from Timeless since Nepal, when Strix really didn't figure out how to necessarily get around them up until the very end, but it was a little bit too late. Strix, we need to see the team that we saw, in my opinion, on Saravasa. They looked really good there. They made everything work very well, especially that Symmetra work very well on Saravasa. Yeah, it was a 2-3 map there, but Strix looked incredibly well, while Timeless Obsidian slowly was starting to fall apart, but they had a nice bounce back map there in Esperanza.
Yeah, and so now both of these teams got their glory, got their sweep. Now we're going to go for an all-out bloodbath, fight to the death here for the elimination here on this last map, which I believe we know what it is.
I'm going to be honest, I forgot what it was.
Yeah.
Watch Point Gibraltar.
Watch Point Gibraltar here on map number 5. It's going to be onto this. So I'm on this map. It's going to be a lot of high ground control. So if I'm on the side of Strix, I'm looking potentially to even still push for that Symmetra TP on attack. What I would like to see them is to bring out that Sigma again, because that was what able to help them push into a good defense on Saravasa. So I think if they bring in that tank again, that we'll be able to go here pretty well. And I think Timeless, just keep doing what you're doing. You seem to have grasped a great hold on what's going on in this game, as we are now going to be loading into Watchpoint Gibraltar. So I'm going to be looking to see who is good, what the competition is going to be looking like, and who can gain that high ground control first.
Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, you talk about Strix coming back out with that Symmetra, the TP to get them on the high ground will be vital. But in my opinion, I don't think we've seen a lot of value come out of that Symmetra TP really a lot. We saw a decent amount of it on Saravasa, but every other map they've played it on, I don't think the TP has got a lot of value, and that kind of hinders the rest of the value you get from that Symmetra pick here. Strix, definitely not coming out with this here. Honestly,
the Torbjorn.
Honestly, maybe. Let me buy into it so I can be wrong when they swap with 3 seconds left on the clock.
So here's a fun fact that they did. One of the maps that Strix played during the group stages, one of the teams forfeited. So they had a nice little show match of them just flexing their hero pulls a little bit. So I would like to see Crimson jump out and then get Lifeweaver pulled right back, just for scouting reasons, I guess. But let's talk about what's actually happening in the game. So Timeless Obsidian is going to be running the same thing, Dynasty on the Genji. So they are expecting Strix to be playing something a little more dive heavy on them. So we do see the Diva come out, as we do see Peace on the TP swap back into the Genji and the Widowmaker. They're just going to come out.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't really think the TPs that Strix has been using has gotten a lot of value. A nice fake there. They're trying to maybe hope that they can force out some abilities, but I don't think they got anything there from anyone on Timeless. So they're going back, making some swaps here. Manually, though, on this Widowmaker, in my opinion, this is a player that we really need to be watching here. They're able to find 1 or 2 headshots and immediately opens up the fight for them at any point on this first point push.
Yeah, and Strix now playing a lot more of a pick center, as that's nice there. Oh, manually. Is exactly what I was talking about, is just a lot more pick dive oriented onto here, as they are now down their Sigma, and I don't know how Timeless is going to be going into it, as they are going to swap back on the TP.
Yeah, and that really puts Sloth in a really interesting position right now, because I have the feeling they're only on this Bastion now until they kind of die here. And so they're going to try to build up a artillery strike here. But again, you know, they're going to try to play around corners. Crimson can eat up so much damage. Peace can deflect a lot of it. Peace getting incredibly low right now. Manually taking some pop shots up there at the two supports there for Timeless. But Strix just confidently pushing this card along. Finally, someone comes out to contest here from Timeless. But Crimson now trying to go on the high ground and maybe stop Luca from harassing everyone up there.
Yeah, and also quickly talking about it is Divinity on this Ana. Those anti-nades, especially into this composition, is going to be so crucial, forcing Timeless Obsidian to play a lot more safe than they have been in the series or in this match so far.
Sights coming out here from Manually, so they know where everyone is. Ooh, the deflect coming out here early from Dynasty. I actually like that was forced out there. Strix now can play a little bit more aggressively, knowing that that Dynasty cannot, you know, deflect a lot of damage right back at them. Manually, though, still looking for another headshot to open up stuff like it did last fight. But the Nano coming out here on the Crimson. Divinity, though, gonna be able to find Unread Sloth, follows them to the grave, and essentially this is the beginning of the end for Timeless on this first point.
Yeah, and they are going to be able to cap it here. And again, beautiful nade coming out from Divinity here on this point right here. And oh, sorry, got my tongue twisted. As they are going to get the picks really, really fast there. And again, with that anti-nade being there, they can't handle the dive being pushed into their face. We even see Fish swap there onto the Anon as well, as it is now going to be vying for positioning here on the spaceship.
And you do see Peace has the blade ready to go here. No Nano to go with it as it was given to Crimson here. But there's really nothing to stop him. Dynasty, though, will be able to find Divinity background. And now they're popping a blade of their own. Not going to be able to find anyone with it yet. Sloth will find Avernix. Manly, though, going to be able to shut down Dynasty. Sloth, though, going in on this Tracer pick here. I like it. Remember, I basically said that once they died on that Bastion, they were going to swap off Luca. Going to be able to kind of stagger on Manly there. And Timeless Obsidian falling back now.
Yeah, and again, Sloth on this Tracer really is an answer to Manually on the Widow. There it is, Manually swapping now onto the Sojourn. And with the Tracer Genji, they would not have any space to play. It's a good swap from them, but they are going to have 3 ultimates here from the side of Timeless versus Strix's 2. So I want to see what they do with these Diva Bombs here, as the Sick is going to be good onto the Brigitte, and they are going to be diving the backline again.
Now to keep Avernix alive, Divinity kind of all on their own there as they get taken out. Dynasty, though, winning the Genji duel there against Peace. And again, Timeless Obsidian making these swaps, kind of been able to stabilize a little bit here, stop Strix from really doing anything.
Yeah, and I love what they're doing now is splitting these high grounds right here, forcing Strix to play into the low ground, otherwise get damage boosted like this is right here, as they are going to be trying to get pushed into here, but this Diva is just big, but the anti-nade is huge.
Yeah, and look at what that does to Luca. They kind of have to fall down there a little bit. They're going to maybe be forced to use their bomb here, but no, they're getting healed up by Fish and Unread. They do both have their ultimates ready to go. Here comes the Nano out on the Dynasty. Ooh, the sleep on the Crimson immediately opens up everything. Look at that. Dynasty getting the headshot on the reflect kill there, and then picking up Peace right back. Strix still struggling to get anything going here, and now Crimson kind of stuck out on their own, trying to get back to spawn here without getting demeched.
Dynasty showing up as the DPS star so far for this entire series on the Sojourn, on the Genji, as they are able to pick up 3. And damn the Nano Blade, all they needed was the Nano to work it. But speaking of, they are going to have Blade here along with Rally and Bomb here on the side of Timeless Obsidian. And Peace is going to go in with Nano Blade.
Speaking of Nano Blade, the Rally does come out to stun them out of it for a little bit, and they're going to find nothing off it because of that. The Divinity, they're going to be able to shut down Dynasty. Finally, someone takes care of the Genji there for Timeless, and now Peace gonna try to harass Luca here on top, but now it's actually Peace getting harassed here by the Tracer of Sloth. They have to fall back down to keep themselves alive here. Both Divas still holding on to these bombs, but they're really gonna be used as remeching tools only. You're not gonna see them be used offensively. The Pulse Bomb coming out will not be able to get the stick on the Divinity. They do not find Divinity either. Manually, though, coming back out will find one. Dynasty, though, pops the blade, finds Divinity. No, support's alive, and Sloth just gonna melt down Manually and then hand him a swift uppercut there to send him back to the spawn.
I love it. I love it. And again, this Sloth on this Tracer has just been a nice little insect for the side of Strix, able to just keep poking and prodding onto him before really striking with that Pulse Bomb, with those picks on it. And again, Fish also, shout out to Fish for landing these crucial sleeps and nades, forcing and Strix to play a lot slower than they really want to. Crimson now on the Winston, and I'm wondering how Strix is going to be pushing in. Manually does have that ult, and he does pick up Fish.
That's a huge pickup there. No Nano available now for Timeless here. We're getting down into a very peculiar time. Oh, and they get the DMAC. Luca will have to use the bomb here, but they find Crimson. That's not what you want to see. If you're Strix here, you lose your tank. Yeah, Timeless does lose theirs as well, so it's a pretty even fight across the board here, but you want that Crimson to dive into the backline here as you see Divinity go up here after Manly. Manly still holding on to this overclock. They're going to use it now. The Nano, though, onto Dynasty. We saw what they were able to do with it last time. They're going to be able to find Manly off it. They get slept, though, but the damage already done here. Aberdeen's popping the rally as they realize this is it, but Divinity falls. Aberdeen's now all the healing that's left for Strix. They will find Dynasty, and they find Unread, but they immediately get taken out there by Luca. The pulse bomb stuck on there onto Crimson. They will find him. Peace, though, keeping this all alive here for Strix, but they get taken out, and there's no one on the card. Overtime ticking down, but we do see a touch from Manly, who immediately gets taken out.
Wow, okay, so that was such a well done nano from Dynasty. Really good nano use there. Even if he did get one pick and a half, able to set up for his team there, and then Sloth on the Tracer, able to find the tank of Strix. And this does stop short right before the second point here. So now Strix does not have a lot of space now to be able to hold here. So a first point hold is very, very crucial for them if they want any chance of winning the series here.
Let's go back to Numbani. Let's go all the way back to map 2 of this series. It was basically the same thing. I said that Strix needed to hold Timeless City on that first point to really give them a good shot at winning that map. Guess what? They did not allow Timeless to even cap first point on Numbani. Hey, but that's a different kind of map, different kind of play style here. You can still hold people on this first point. That, if you allow them to push all the way very close to point A here on Gibraltar, it puts the attacking team at such a disadvantage if they lose a fight.
Yeah, and I've seen so much on this point, Gibraltar, I have seen so many fuller holds on Gibraltar specifically. So, I'm really interested to see what Strix is. We are going to be seeing the Diva, the two Divas on both sides, so they are still going to be playing this dive center gameplay. Sloth definitely not going to be staying on the Symmetra, but is starting to get the team onto that side, but manually on the Soldier now. So I'm wondering if this is going to be the game winner here for Strix.
The TP comes out. I'm wondering where it went. It went to that opposite route right there, but they immediately just go to Cart instead. Luca coming out on the Diva here. Remember, I talked about them having a lot of flexibility. We saw the Diva in their group stage play, but haven't really seen it tonight. But so far this map, they have looked really good on the Diva.
Yeah, and this Diva just has been making so much space for Timeless. They're able to just move their team just along as, ooh, that's a really big anti-nade. Oh, 7 HP! He does get to live there, but this is what I'm talking about. The nades from Divinity have been pretty on point, forcing Timeless to play a lot slower as they want to. So nades like this, if they keep it up like this, they're going to be able to hold this space here really, really well.
Yeah, and we're still waiting for either team to find a pick here. Remember, it was manually find that headshot there onto Luca in the first round that it kind of opens stuff up for Strix. You see the dive come in here from Peace. They get antied. Gonna have to get themselves out there. The deflect will allow them to do that, but still, no one has fallen yet. Each of these teams playing this very safe.
Yeah, and it is like elimination round. It's good to play safe here, but they are allowing Timeless to go under here the bridge. This is actually a really crucial point as Auna almost gets picked off here, and they're not going to commit to it.
They weren't going to commit to it, but now you see Dynasty commit to this one, and they're going to be able to find Manly. That's huge for them, especially with how close they were to a visor of their own, and that gets off a lot of pressure here. The Nano coming out here on the Dynasty. It also goes out on to Crimson. Crimson, though, will not be able to find anyone just yet. Dynasty does find one, but Peace doing a lot of damage here. Going to pick up both of the supports there for Timeless, and now Timeless, they're going to continue to push this card, but they're playing a very dangerous game here at the moment.
It's supportless for both sides here, but it looks like Strix is going to be on that high ground with that Soldier, coming up on 2 of our DPS ults here. Crimson does have the bomb. Is they going to be able to get that remake? Potentially. Yes, they will.
Dynasty may be playing a little bit of a dangerous game there as well, trying to get the dash kill in there late as Crimson was popping, as Crimson was getting back into it, but look at Peace. It's a Merry Christmas there. Aberdeen's picking up one, and Manly gonna shut down the entirety of Timeless of sitting here. And hey, like I said, this was drawing parallels back to Numbani, and so far, it is doing it again.
Yep, really good Nano Blade from the side of Strix there. Peace able to find a 3-piece and be able to do it, and they still have a Vertings Rally and the Visor there to try to just mitigate anything they come from. Dynasty with their Blade here, I'm expecting manually to just kind of mitigate entirely. So Dynasty really needs a really strong Blade here. But Peace able to get the pick with Dynasty, slowing down the push from Timeless even further.
And this is not the time that you want to start losing people early. If you're Timeless, Obsidian, Strix, narrowing this down, just eating away at the clock here. Only about a minute to go here. Yeah, you have a couple ultimates coming up here. The Blade, the Pulse Bomb. You're not going to see the Diva Bomb necessarily get a lot, as it's really just going to be a remaking tool at this point.
Yeah, and we'll potentially see here, but Dynasty's Blade has to come up big. Fish at 70% for Nano. Maybe they're waiting for the Nano Blade, as it is a minute left on the clock. Both teams are vying for positioning, and Dynasty goes in for it. The Visor is going to be shut down immediately.
The Visor gets shut down immediately from Dynasty there. Like you said, the Blade coming out will not find anything but the Pulse Bomb. It finds one. They need to keep this going right now. If you're Timeless here, they're going to be able to get Crimson out before they get a bomb. That's another huge play for them here. Now, Strix kind of looking at the beginning and the end of this first point here. Maybe do not use any other ultimates if you're them. They're not going to be able to as Divinity gets taken out there. And we'll get the far spawn here. 3 minutes, though, is all Timeless Obsidian gets.
Yeah, and we see now Luca Dynasty taking up so much space now. We do see the Nano on the side of Timeless with Luca's bomb as well, so they have so many ults to keep this positioning in here. Meanwhile, on Strix, they're gonna have bomb Nano as well, sure, but what can they do with all this pressure of all of them in the face right now? It's gonna be Divinity who needs to get a really nice nade here as they go push in here.
Oh, but it's going to be Dynasty finding 1, 2, making another Merry Christmas so far this round. Can they find the 4th? The healing will come out. They do find the 4. Can they get the ace? They will not be able to, as Crimson is the last one alive right now. Will they use the bomb? They're not going to use it here. It's a smart play from them, but Dynasty getting the ace.
Dynasty putting his team on their back as they are, as Strix now is struggling to try to get a touch here, as it is going to be the rally coming out here from Timeless.
Rally come out, Dynasty make it 6 kills in a row for the Genji. Can they make it 7 here? The rally come out, the bomb can be used here by Luca to try to get everyone for Strix off the point if they need to. But Crimson gonna use the bomb. Luca gonna be able to find everything. Crimson not gonna be able to get back in. Divinity coming back on the Kiriko. Peace will find one. The Blade coming out from Peace will not find anything. Unread sends them home. Dynasty puts the nail in the coffin, and Timeless Obsidian gonna be moving on to the semifinals.
Wow, okay, so that was a close ending there to such a close series. Dynasty just finding the picks at the very, very end there with this. Here it is, the 4K coming in here, just dash resetting with the nanos. Oh my gosh, all right. And
Cheers.
Timeless just showing off and just being able to be a little better, that much more better in this series here, closing it out, making it 3-2 and advancing to tomorrow's semis.
And man, what a great series here for Timeless. What a great series for Strix. Man, me and you were talking about it in between that last break there, that we kind of wish this was not a first round matchup. This has finals matchup written all over, but we saw it in the first round. Timeless Obsidian moving on, but Strix, they honestly should be moving on as well, but they are not. They are going home. Timeless Obsidian putting on a great performance there on Watch Point.
Yeah, and you know, we have to give a shout out to Strix, just making it so close. They're showing off on that Genji there on Watcher Gibraltar. We saw how well they're able to play this dive composition with the Diva, but just because they can doesn't mean they can't not do it better. Timeless showing up, they can play these composition a lot more comfortably than Strix. And we see, I think, you know, if I had to pick a player of the match, it has to be Dynasty, just because of how well they were able to put their team on their back, consistently find picks, and just make it so that this was not such a close match and bring it back from the jaws of defeat. As Timeless is going to be moving on to face against Abs or Bust in the semifinals tomorrow.
Yeah, Abs or Bust able to take care of Persona in a 3-0 sweep over on the B stream or over on the other stream here. But hey, we still have another series to go here tonight. Citrus and Pristine Guardians will be ours. Hunt and Shikigami will be on the other stream here. But Kaylee, what an incredible series this one was. We could talk about every player, in my opinion, showing up and showing out. There was really no one that was necessarily bad here. But hey, we're going to take a quick break and be right back with an interview for someone from Timeless.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Atlas Fighter Standoff playoffs. We just came off of a very close series between Timeless Obsidian and Strix. Timeless Obsidian bringing it up 3-2 here, and we do have an interview here with none other than the tank player YouTube Luca. Here, hi, how we doing today, Luca?
Why, hello. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. You guys gave us quite the show today. Congratulations on your win here. Moving on to face against Abs. So how is it feeling to win after that map 5 after such a close feeling?
Yeah, it was a pretty close series, although I don't think it should have been that close. We just kind of, it felt great, but we definitely could have had a little bit of a cleaner performance, I think.
Yeah, and sorry.
You're good. You guys did have a really great performance across all 5 maps. Yeah, you like you're saying, it maybe should not have gone 5, but Strix did put up a hell of a performance here tonight. But I want to try to get your opinion on your DPS line and your support line there. It seemed like you were allowed to do so much. It was because you had a lot of confidence in your DPS line to be able to get in there, disrupting your healers to make sure that you were able to stay alive, especially on Watchpoint Gibraltar, to stay in that mech.
Yeah, so well, it's funny. Watchpoint Gibraltar. So I've recently joined this team, like for this tournament actually. So I've only really started scrimming with them like once or twice. So it's funny you bring up that last map. That was completely on the fly. I just kind of realized like the Sigma comp wasn't gonna work, so I'm just like, whatever, just play whatever you guys want. We'll just go like the Diva comp. And my team had like they did a really good job of just being able to like stay composed and react to whatever was thrown at them by the enemy. So they did a really good job.
Yeah, and it showed. You guys were able to kind of keep it cool, calm, collected, and be able to manage everything that you needed to throw your way. And again, congratulations to you. What I wanted to see was, how did you guys prepare for today's match against Strix? They were undefeated in their group stage, and how does prep look for the rest of the tourney now?
So what, the tourney is, there's a game tomorrow and another game after that, right? And it's it's over. So we're just gonna keep practicing as usual. In terms of the preparation for the most recent match, we're just doing like standard scrims, whatnot. We had a warm up earlier, but nothing really in specific to deal with that team. Like we didn't have any specific sort of training because I honestly had no clue what they were gonna play. I just kind of showed up, but yeah.
Well, we like honesty here on the desk here, so thank you so much.
Of course. But nah, yeah, I think we're just gonna keep. I think looking forward towards the next 2 games. We just keep doing what we're doing, cleaning up a little bit. We got it easily.
Okay, do you have any more questions?
Yeah, I always ask this for interviews. Again, congratulations for you. But is there anyone or anything you'd like to shout out here on stream before we kind of let you go?
Shout outs. Well, shout out to my teammate, our main support, Unread. That's the GOAT. But besides that, that's all really.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Luca, for your time, and good luck. Have fun celebrating tonight, and good luck in the rest of the tournament.
Thank you. Thank you.
Whew.
Oh,
well,
YouTube Luca there from Timeless Obsidian the Tank. They did a great job tonight, specifically on that Sigma, might I add. They did a really good job on the Diva as well. They're on Watchpoint Gibraltar, which we just learned was an on-the-fly decision, and it worked out great for them. Kaylee, like we've been saying, this was an incredible series to start. One that kind of wish it didn't end here, but hey, it had to end with one team winning, and I believe Timeless Obsidian was the better team tonight.
Yeah, and Timeless able to just play so congealed with one another. I think that is the word I use. They were able to lock down the composition they needed to against Strix here, and they were able to find out Strix's weakness and just exploit it so much. And again, Timeless Obsidian, one of the fan favorites going into into this tournament. So seeing them move on is such a great feeling, as we are also now looking forward into our next series, Citrus versus Pristine Guardians.
Yeah, it's going to be a great series, but we're going to take a quick break and then be back with the start of that one. So make sure you all stick around. That's going to be another incredible series.
Stay tuned.
Atlas Fighters Standoff. Choose your fighter. Cammy Tracer. Choose your fighter. Sakura Kirito. Choose your fighter. Bison Sigma. Check out all this and more at goatsreviveshop.com.
Round one. Fight!
All right, welcome back everyone to the Atlas Fighters Standoff. We have our second and final match of the night here tonight. Citrus versus Pristine Guardians. Kaylee, we had a banger of a series in the first one. I'm expecting another banger of a series here.
Yeah, and we have similar storylines going in here. A number 1 seed from one group going against a number 2 seed here. Citrus, I believe, was the one going up 6-0 in their maps versus the Pristine Guardians going 5-1. So we do see a very similar storyline here. So I'm expecting some very similar gameplay and bangers coming out for this set here.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to remember, Citrus is the team that beat Timeless Obsidian to make them the number 2 seed coming out of their pool. They had a +5 map differential because Timeless Obsidian was still able to take 1 map off them, but they swept the other 2 teams they played. Pristine Guardians, though, coming to this one, winning 2 of their 3 games, but only having a +1 map differential. They did lose to Persona, I believe, but as we talk about the Pristine Guardians, look at this lineup here. Sledge and Mellow, your DPS line. Monkey Happy as your tank. Snotty Finger and Asolus is your support line here. And Kaylee, this looks like a really good team.
Yeah, so we're seeing, I want to see what kind of composition they're going to be playing, but it looks like Sledge Mellow are very comfortable on these dive kind of centered heroes, Sledge on the Genji, Mellow on the Tracer, and I would like to see a lot more of the dive style like we did see on Gibraltar on map number 5 in the last series. It makes for a lot more fun and more dynamic gameplay for both sides.
Yeah, Pristine Guardians does have 3 members of their team on the bench like we could see at any point throughout the series here. The Throw Zone, Giori, and Pika as well, so we could see them at any time. But let us introduce Citrus as well. Their opponents tonight, Danny and Ultim Weep, are your DPS line. Zeb, your tank. Z-Man and Apine are your support line. I'm probably saying a name wrong there. I'm sorry. Okay. Citrus, a team that has taken down Timeless Obsidian. We saw them already in our first series of the night. They looked incredible. So Citrus, in my opinion, is another team that is probably going to be a hard beat here tonight.
Yeah, and Citrus, this is a squad who's been playing together for a very long time, on and off again. Some of these players, like Zeb, are on contenders teams, I believe, if I recognize the names correctly. These players very well together. They've been playing in multiple tournaments. These players very well congeal together, so that could be the deciding factor between these 2 teams is comfortability with one another. I'm always of the opinion a team who really works well together is going to play really well in game.
Yeah. Absolutely, but we do know what our first map of this series will be. Same as last one. We're heading to Nepal, and now we could call back to that first series of the night and talk about what worked for both teams there and what didn't work. But in my opinion, these are 2 different teams. I really feel like we're going to see 2 completely different kind of setups and comps, and looking like we are going to see that immediately coming out here.
Yeah, we see Orisa coming out from both teams right now. Nothing locked in yet, but this is very interesting. A lot more of that bunker-style compositions coming out here. Danny on the Widowmaker, I expect the change off. But, Orisa, very, very well-known presence on any point. Really, really hard to kill them with all the resources being pumped into them from their Baptiste. So we do see Lucio. So again, it's going to come down to which team can get first touch onto point and who's going to be able to get that first pick. Danny coming out on the Hanzo.
Yeah, it's an interesting pick for me there, and it's a lot like the Widowmaker we saw on Watchpoint Gibraltar in our last series. If they're gonna be able to find an early headshot, that opens up a lot of stuff here for Citrus here, and they're actually in a really good spot. Doesn't really like anyone on the side of Guardians have really noticed them, but Happy Monkey gonna be able to find Z-Man out here early. Zeb will immediately trade out there, finding Mellow. That's already a lot of damage down here now for Pristine Guardians. Ultimately gonna be able to keep themselves alive here, but they have a very, very tough out here for them. Snotty gonna be able to keep themselves alive here as Pristine tries to take point here first, but Citrus immediately stabling it out here as they try to now take point away from them. Ultima, though, gonna be able to find Snotty in that back line, and losing your Baptiste here might force the Guardians to fall back as Citrus takes point first.
Yeah, and it was just really well done from Citrus just to completely zone out Pristine Guardians with that Hanzo, make him force to play around the corner, and then use Ultima and Zeb to just keep poking out the enemy team until Ultima is able to just get a pick off there, as we saw there, and they were just able to pick off Snotty and be able to force the reset on Pristine.
And you immediately see Monkey come in here, get a pop that goal to keep him alive, but they don't really need it as you see Snotty and Sledge pick up 2 huge kills there, but they have not decided to bring the fight to point yet. They're still trying to clean up the rest of Citrus here at the moment. Point Cap finally starting to get the blade being popped here by Ultima. Gonna be able to find 1 off that point swap. Ultima, though, gonna be able to find 2. That won't necessarily matter in the end as you see Pristine flip over the point.
Yeah, so very interesting positioning there from Zeb at the beginning. They're trying to get a very cheeky boot kill there. But we do see that it's going to be Citrus trying to flip back the point now that with the ultimate, the beat is going to be committed here as they are going to be trying to contest points.
Almost the beat coming off. The Terror Surge coming out here will not find anyone but Ultima and Danny picking up 2. Danny picking up 2. They're on their own to make it 3 kills at the point. Flip right there for Citrus. And now you're seeing Citrus get very aggressive, trying to just stagger some members out. Mellow getting shot down. Snotty getting shot down as well. Danny going in, finding 4 kills.
Yeah, and those last 2 kills were stagger kills, making Pristine forced to even give up even more percentage than they wanted to, and Zeb going up for this again. But, you know, Danny on that Tracer was able to find 4. It's just Tracer able to get into the backline, be really, really slippery. Now with the ultimate, can they be able to find a stick here with this pulse?
And it will be huge from here, but Sledge has the blade ready to go. You see the damage coming out here from Snotty. Immortality Field already used. Monkey Go, they'll be able to shut down Ultima, but Snotty does lose their Immortality Field here. Now the M is coming out from the other side. Epo gonna be able to pop their beat as well. Z-Man gonna be able to find Snotty there. Danny finds Mel. Terror Surge coming out here from Monkey. They're not gonna be able to find anyone off at Zeb. Such down Sledge here. And Citrus, oh, the nice javelin from Zeb sends Monkey Happy into the pit.
Z-Man was just uncontested that entire fight, having a window open for them, able to just keep his team alive and get the picks that he needed to, but Snotty is going to go down here to Web.
Don't want to see that. Don't want to see that either as Monkey Happy comes back out on the Doom Crypts, immediately shut down there by Zeb on the arrest of Sledge, though. Gonna pop their blade, gonna be able to find 1, make it a happy birthday on through the support line there. Daniel will shut down Sledge, but you're not gonna see a Solus there get back in time, and Citrus will take the first sub-map.
Really well executed from the side of Citrus. They are using their flankers really, really well, as Zeb is just able to just be a nice presence on point, making it so Pristine has to choose what they want to focus on. Do they try to get the point contest and try to put as much pressure as they can on Zeb, or do they have to worry about Danny in the backline just completely annihilating them? And we saw Danny was popping off, getting 2-3 picks every single fight, making sure that he can stay in the backline. And this is what I'm talking about when it comes to these 2 teams. It's just Danny showing off that, you know, if you have someone who's uncontested, you will win the fight, irregardless.
Yeah, absolutely here, but you're seeing the Symmetrics come back out, probably just gonna be for a TP and then swapping off here. Yeah, that's immediately what you're gonna see. Both of the Symmetrics immediately swap over to the Genji, and other than the Bastion pick here for the Pristine Guardians, it's pretty much a mirror match across the board here. Ultima getting incredibly low. The Javelin coming out there from Monkey will miss them, but again, Zeb, Ultima kind of low on health, and you see them immediately just fall back into that backline. Immortality Field already down and out here for Citrus, and Pristine Guardians doing a good job just forcing them back as the point here will open.
Yeah, very well done from Pristine Guardians, pushing back Citrus so that they can take all of this base, forcing Citrus to do something as they do get the pick onto Ultima, as they are going to be pushing out now 4v5.
Ultimately just a little bit in too deep there. Daniel will find Sledge as the Ant Matrix comes out here from Citrus, but not going to find a lot of value off that. Z-Man will find Mellow as they do try to keep up Danny here. But again, Pristine already taking point here, and if you're Citrus, you wonder how much you're going to keep into this fight here.
Mellow being the Giga Chat, shooting still through the window as Snotty gets another pick onto Ultima. The Echo pick not really working out here for Pristine or for Citrus.
Yeah, and at this point, like, they've gotten caught out way too deep 2 times in a row now, and Pristine Guardians building up to all their ultimates here. I mean, they have the Amp Matrix ready to go. They're going to be able to use it this next fight. Mellow close to an artillery strike. Monkey Happy close to a Terror Surge here. They're pretty much set up to survive a couple team fights here. Citrus needs to try to find an early pickoff onto someone as you see the Amp Matrix come out there. However, I don't think it's going to get a lot of value as Ultima able to find 1 there onto Mellow. They will eventually fall out there to Sledge. Z-Man, though, picking up Snotty Finger there. And now Citrus actually kind of finding the advantage they need here. They're taking this fight to point. The beat coming out here as the blade comes out from Danny. They find 1, but that'll be all they get. Terror Surge not going to be able to find anything there from Happy Monkey. And Citrus should be able to clean up this team fight and take the point for the first time.
Citrus managing to make a team fight win with just one ultimate, and sorry, they also used Terra Surge there, but they're able to do it with nice eco right there, as they do force both support ultimates from the side of Pristine. They do force this Terra Surge from Happy Monkey, so they are now at an ultimate advantage here now with their own beaten window, so they can potentially make it so that they can just completely stop any momentum Pristine Guardian wants to do here.
Ultima Weave gonna duplicate here into a Genji. You see Mello there try to focus on that, not gonna be able to do anything there, but they are slowing down Ultima here a little bit. However, Zeb does eventually find Mello. Happy Monkey, they'll get to find Danny. There's still Genji on the field for Citrus, but not at the moment. The beat coming out a little bit too late to save Danny. However, it is doing a good job keeping everyone else alive. The supports right now doing a lot of damage. Make that 3 of the 4 kills there going to the ones that are supposed to heal you.
Oh man, Zeb. He just stood, I don't know if you saw that, just stood in front of the Bastion, just gold, waved at him and killed him at the same time. But Pristine Guardians was just not able to convert once they had all the ult from Citrus come out to them. The beat completely mitigating everything. As the Bastion Strike is going to come in here, but Z-Man is going to live as they are trying to gain the high ground here, but here comes the window.
This is a very scary situation. The blade coming out from Sledge, not going to be able to find anyone just yet. That you saw Mello absolutely get melted there. Z-Man eventually does fall there to Monkey Happy. Ultima Weep, though, going to find Sledge. It's just getting traded back and forth here. Ultima Weep will find one, but will immediately get shut down there by a Solus, who's actually been doing a really good job picking up some kills on this Lucio. And now Pristine Guardians technically has the advantage here.
Yeah, and Zeb fell into that fight, so the trade does help out with Pristine Guardians here, as they are going to be fighting on the point. Baptiste is going to be there, but it is going to be the flip coming out here. Solus going to have his beat, as well as Snottyfinger having his ultimate here, as they are going to be trying to push back and try to re-engage.
Nice javelin there from Zeb to kind of keep Danny alive. Really does help them out there as they are close to a blade. Here comes the blade. The Terror Surge coming out. It's a wombo combo already. This series are going to be able to find one off that, but a Terror Surge coming out from Happy Monkey and a beat coming out from them will kind of slow them down, but it's still Citrus picking up kill after kill. Z-Man picking up 2. Zeb going to pick up Happy or Monkey Happy there. Another duplication coming out there on to the Genji there here from Ultima Weep, and now Citrus retakes the point.
Yeah, they do win the fight, but it is a little too expensive for my takes for what they wanted to do. Now we see Monkey Happy onto it. Now they're just going for touch right here. No more ultimates in the play, which means that Citrus now has the advantage. Z-Man's going to be having that window as they are going to be going in here. But now this dive comp can be potentially dangerous.
Speaking of the devil, Caster Curse coming out here. I don't think we had many of them in the first series, but you just absolutely cursed Z-Man right there. And into overtime right now, Pristine Guardians going to be able to cap the point because Z-Man's not there. They find Ultima as well, and now Pristine looking to be in control of this point here.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about when I said dive was dangerous, is that they can just completely annihilate someone just like Z-Man, but now Citrus has to touch now as they come into the 97th percentile.
Oh, nice boop. They're going to be able to get a touch here, forcing the overtime out. Now they're going after some people right now. Z-Man still holding on to this amplification matrix right now. Beat coming out from Epo here to keep everyone supported. The image will come out. They immediately find Monkey Happy there. They're going to try to focus on someone else, but Mello coming out on the twist will find Ultima there. Epo, Zeb picking up 2. Zeb picking up 1 more to make it 3. You do see Sledge come back in, but Z-Man shutting them down, retaking the point, and taking our first map.
Citrus bringing it back there from what seemed like a very dangerous position there on map number 2, able to use the window very effectively. Z-Man playing very aggressive on this Baptiste and getting the picks that his team needs. Even getting play of the game. Good job.
Yeah, Z-Man did good throughout this entire map. And you talked about right here when this happened, pretty much had free range to do whatever they wanted with this amp matrix. Nothing slowed them down. No one even tried to stop them.
Yeah, and this is what I'm talking about when it comes to, you know, trying to find what works. So again, it's that they were able to find the picks that they needed fast and first. So Citrus taking it 1-0 in this series.
Yeah, and this was a great start for Citrus, probably one they needed. Pristine Guardians looked really good, and coming into this series here with that 1+1 map differential, I kind of thought maybe, you know, they were able to kind of skirt by, but they really showed us here this is going to be a series, but they need to respond as we head into our next map here, kind of like how Strix did in our first series.
Yeah, and I think Pristine Guardians, they showed signs of life. We saw them when they swapped to that Doom. Even though that was a touch comp, they were able to get the executions that they needed in order to be successful. But when they were on that Orisa, they were just kind of not able to really set a position that they needed to when that Orisa comp. Instead, they kind of played catch up the entire time while Citrus was just controlling the space as much as they wanted to, and that kind of led to them winning the map.
Yeah, and even with Citrus coming out, and maybe a questionable pick there with the Echo for as long as they did, but as long as they stayed on it, and hell, at the end of it, they did look really good on the Echo. But there are so many times that Echo went a little bit in too deep into the fight, into the backline there for Pristine Guardians, that they were immediately able to jump on, get rid of it, and have an advantage early on that second point. They just weren't able to capitalize on it for a long period of time, because I feel like that Echo really did learn their lesson and started to slow down with their deep dives.
Yeah, and again, I think I want to talk about Zeb, their tank player, just doing exactly what they need to do in order to just control the space. I think Citrus had a lot more space to play with over Pristine Guardians. They were able to just control the space, get there first, and rotate fast, and that has to do a lot with their backline. I mean, their backline has been so aggressive. How many times did we see Z-Man in the kill feed, right? Getting the picks that he needs. So I think what I want to see for Pristine Guardians is I want to see a lot more aggression and a lot more assertiveness in their decisions that they're making against Citrus here. Because Citrus seems to be just fine hanging back and let Pristine trying to figure it out while they just kind of take the point and win.
Yeah, absolutely. And you did bring up a good point there. Z-Man almost had a free range on a lot of time there, but that second to last team fight there on that second point, Z-Man was the first one to fall. We were kind of talking about it, that they're going to have an Am Matrix there, and that might be enough to close out that map and close out that sub map and close out the map because of it. But they found Z-Man first, and you kind of saw what happened with Citrus after that. Z-Man is a big point of Citrus's whole team comp right there, being that Baptiste, it's its main source of healing. So when Z-Man fell out, you kind of saw everyone on Citrus rotate out with that Lucio. They knew that they lost a lot of the healing. They lost an immortality field. They basically lost that fight right away, but they played it really smart.
Yeah, and I think that's what Citrus, what kind of helped Citrus here take up that number one here, was their intelligent decision-making skills. They were able to know when they needed to push up, when they needed to get aggressive, but also when they needed to back off. And like you said, when they got picked off, they needed to back in. And now we are heading off to Numbani, just like the other set. But Numbani. So again, with this kind of map, I'm expecting high ground control for decided defense. And the most important thing for attacking, especially on first point, is trying to get that first foot in the door, right? Getting that first high ground, taking away that space. What resources are you going to be able to use there? And I think if Citrus is able to play as well as they have been right now, they're going to be able to just outmaneuver Pristine Guardians. But anything can still happen. It's still a young game.
Absolutely. And Danny coming out on the Widowmaker? Looks like they're sticking with it. I like it here. Pristine Guardians, not fully ready yet, but honestly, they have a lot of time here.
Yeah, so very interesting composition coming up from Citrus. This is very much a classic poke composition, right? We have Zeb on the Sigma and the Z-Man and an Epo 9 on the, the Baptiste and the Idioti, right? And Danny, of course, with Widowmaker, have to respect. So with Pristine Guardians, they're going to have to respect all of the common sight lines here from Citrus. And we see how accurate Danny was on the Tracer. So let's see if that translates here as we see Pristine Guardians coming out on the Symmetra. Or never mind.
Coming out, another Caster's Curse, man. Already, second one. We're only on map 2 here. Immediately talking about the Symmetra and immediately watching them get domed there. But a nice shot from Danny, who, look at them right now. Off that one headshot kill there and a couple other shots, already up to almost 40% on their ultimate.
I get one a match. So, as the Genji's going to try to dive onto this, but Melo is going to be sticking onto the Symmetra. I think that's just unlucky, and they are going to TP right onto point, and this is the foot in the door I was talking about.
Yeah, and because Danny used that grapple hook to get themselves out of the sticky situation, they didn't have the grapple hook to get themselves back up onto the high ground, so they'll fall there. And I would not be shocked here if we see a swap there from Danny. And yeah, you're going to see it over to the Pharah.
Yeah, so this is very interesting. I mean, it's very commonplace. The only person who really contested is Snotty Finger, and that's probably fine. I mean, Pharah is really, really good on this map. Such an open high grounds for that, as we are going to see Lamp going to be coming out here from the side of Citrus, and as the window's going to be coming in as well.
Yeah, the window coming up, but the TP plays coming out from Pristine Guardians here so far have been nice. Zeb, they're going to find Monkey happy, but you just see Pristine Guardians picking up some kills here right now. Danny, they'll come back and be able to find one there now. You still have your tank here in Danny, so you still can kind of stall out this point for a little bit here.
Yeah, but Z-Man was one of the people who did get followed, so not much sustain going to be on the point. Zeb does have his ultimate here, but I don't know if there's much that Pristine Guardians, Citrus can do here in terms of defense with Pristine Guardians having all his high ground control.
No, they're not going to do anything there. Maybe play it smart, just try to hold around this corner right now, but you immediately see Pristine Guardians hit that aggressive button, just hold W, find 2 kills onto the support lines here for Citrus. Sledge going in, finding 2. They're going to shut down Ultima Weep, send them back to the far spawns as well. And this is a really great response here for Pristine Guardian so far.
Yeah, it really is. Danny playing roulette onto the Echo now. Something interesting I want to point out is Pristine's Guardian's tank choice. They do want to go with the Junker Queen here, looking to try to rush down onto Citrus here on that Sigma, which it has been seeming to work right now. Sigma has just been isolated in these fights, getting picked off, as we are going to see the Flux going to kind of come in here as they do catch the Queen, and Queen just evaporates.
Flux and Visor coming out right now. Like you said, Queen evaporate off the face of this earth. So is Snotty Fingo right there. And, you know, even with Citrus pushing very far up, they sacrifice maybe some cart push there, and maybe not as far as you would expect them to get off that.
Yeah, this is very eerily close to the corner, and now this is a chance for Citrus to have a really good defense, as this corner has been notorious for pushing through. It looks like Pristine Guardians are just going to say, screw that, we're going to go all the way around, play in this little shop area.
You see ooh, what a nice dive coming out there from Sledge. Going to find Ultima right there. Now they have their eyes set here on Z-Man. Immortality Field coming out. Going to be able to get rid of that. Monkey Happy going to be able to find one. The Captive Song coming out from Ipponine. Not going to find anything as Monkey Happy actually finds them. Snotty Finger going to shut down Danny right there. Zeb, no healing around. Going to be taken down by the beam of Mellow. And now Pristine Guardians with a lot of free time here to push.
Yeah, Sledge with a very good blade right there, getting the almost aerial kill, liking it so that Mello can get the follow-up right there. But they do have 4 ultimates for this last push here, on to the second point here. Only ult from the side of Citrus is going to be Z-Man and Danny's copy. So let's see what Citrus can do here, if they can be able to even get a touch. Danny is going to get the touch.
Getting a touch, the Photon Barrier comes out. Monkey Happy and Sledge immediately find 2 right there, and point B already capped here for the Pristine Guardians, and they still have 2 more ultimates in their disposal. But look at this, they're just, again, holding W. Gonna find another kill here. Zeb, again, in a bad spot, gonna get dragged in by that knife there from Monkey Happy, and eventually taken out by a nice axe swing.
Very good push right now from Pristine Guardians. They are just pushing their advantage really hard into Citrus. That is how this is basically coming down to. As we do see Citrus going on to the Bastion now, potentially trying to stop the momentum that Pristine has been pushing with this Junker Queen. Junker Queen, very, very good at just taking space really, really fast, especially with that shout, with that axe swing. Really in your face, kind of counteracting anything that Zeb could do here. We are going to be looking here at the window now for this fight for Citrus.
I'm watching for this rampage, though, from Monkey Happy here. If it lands onto a couple people, it can be huge and it can be deadly. The duplicate coming out here, getting a duplicate into a Junker Queen of their own. Here comes the Flux, gonna be able to smash Monkey Happy into the face of the earth there, get them off of the face of the earth here, and send them back to spawn. And now Citrus gonna be able to finally stabilize and slow down this push here from Pristine Guardians as Danny finds Snotty Finger on their way out.
Yeah, and this is the momentum shift that Citrus needed right now, because they were just getting kind of staggered a little bit, not able to find 5, but now they are able to use the ults, get the picks they need, and they are finally be able to get a soft reset so that they can be able to hold now in this nice corridor, which is, again, really hard to hold and push forward if you're Pristine Guardians.
Yeah, and still holding on to this rampage right now, especially with the lost Citrus being very aggressive. As you see the M-Matrix come out, Zeb gonna find Mellow. Sledge, though, again, being able to get into the backline so good so far this map. Able to find Ipponine there. And that might slow down Citrus here a little bit, especially with that M-Matrix going away. But with a Solus there falling, that's exactly what Citrus needed.
Yeah, it's the trade that they were looking for. I think they're fine. But Pristine Guardians do still have that rampage on Monkey Happy and the beat, but Sledge gonna be falling now from the Echo. But and it looks like they're gonna try to reset, and then now Citrus are gonna be pushing in here, trying to get as many late picks as possible. I like what Citrus is doing here. They're trying to stagger out Pristine and just burn as much time as possible. Again, 2 minutes now left on the clock. And as you see, now they're committing ultimates to this little push here, as they are gonna get another pick.
Gonna pick up 1 off the ultimate there, follow up with 2. And honestly, I thought Citrus was maybe playing it a little bit too dangerous, maybe just going too far ahead. But hey, it worked out for them. Pristine Guardians right now, I think they're just building up ults. I think they're fine losing this time.
Yeah, and you know, it's really well that Citrus is capitalizing on this, but look at Pristine now. They have 4 ultimates now going in. Sledge, a little low, but now they're going to have Beat. They're going to have Window. They're going to have Rampage. They get a pick on. This is looking like a good fight for Pristine Guardians.
They already lose Danny and Ultima Weep there. No DPS on the field right now for Citrus. Then the Flux coming out will get shut down there by Mellow. Only 1 ultimate has been used here for the Guardians right now. They're still holding on to 4.
Yeah, and the thing is that even if they used B here, it doesn't matter because now they're at an ultimate advantage here. Z-Man, just to see he does have his window, but it's not going to matter because we also have the window.
They're coming out from Pristine Guardians, are out coming out here from Citrus. Rampage coming out, Blade coming out, everything on the table right now. There's a happy birthday to end off this map for Pristine Guardians, finishing it with 65 seconds. That is a nice time bank for them, but you honestly think it should have been more.
Yeah, as the Diva once said, pressing Q to make the win for here, getting the cap. And yeah, as you said, Pristine Guardians had such a big time bank coming out of second point. They had a 4-minute time bank advantage there, but once Citrus was able to stop the momentum that they had, Pristine Guardians really couldn't get it started back up. Another thing was Monkey Happy didn't seem to have a good opportunity to use that Rampage. As we saw, they only used it at the very, very end there, holding onto it for a good 2.5 minutes. So Pristine Guardians not really able to use the ultimates that they wanted to, but still getting to map completion really, really good. And as long as it wasn't 0%, they don't have to draw.
Yeah, absolutely. But Monkey Happy now going over to the Orisa here. Honestly, I thought they did really well on the Junker Queen, but you know, they wanted to only run it on the offensive side. Defensive side, they wanted to play a little bit more defensive, honestly.
Yeah. And, you know, Junker Queen on defense is very interesting because you are basically being the one that's being very proactive, right? When you pick the Orisa here, it's more to say that you want to be reactive to what Citrus has been doing. And that's typically how you want to be in the attack defending kind of nature of the game. Zeb potentially sticking on the Sigma here. If that's the case, I think that Orisa is actually a really good choice because you're able to kind of just keep bursting down the shield because of that infinite ammo that you do have without need to reload. And I think that with the way that Pristine Guardians have been playing with this heavy rotation style, that this Orisa playing this bunker composition is what they need in order to hold here.
I feel like we're not talking about something very obvious at the moment for Citrus's comp. Ipanine coming out on the Life Weaver here, but Danny already finds Snotty out early and follows it up into Mellow. This is the exact start that Citrus needed.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm going to call that the Life Weaver difference. Interesting thing with Life Weaver, though, is that Life Weaver really can just stay on top of the pedal in the back of a fight and just hold his team through sustain. Now, of course, Danny was able to find 2 picks early, but I think this Life Weaver pick isn't necessarily troll because, you know, they were able to just have a lot of sustain throughout the entire fight. They're able to just keep having these very continuous fights, and Pristine Guardians not really able to just do any significant damage with the poke that they're doing.
Sledge having to, you know, jump off the map there to regroup with their team is not necessarily a good thing, but hey, it's a good thing that they're all back together now. Ultima getting incredibly low here, going to fall back, get healed up by Z-Man and Epo9 here. But again, this is a great start for Citrus and a team that desperately needed it after what kind of was the end of that round there, but they ate off a lot of time.
Yeah, as we do see them go back into his Monkey, almost goes down, but he does ultimately goes down to Wep here.
And that's going to force Pristine Guardians here to fall back a little bit. That Orisa is supposed to take up a lot of space, take up a lot of focus. You immediately see Danny pick up 2, Ultima going to pick up Snai there, and you're down both your supports here. Your tank is on its way back as well, and Citrus here, a lot of free card push.
Very interesting lead that they're still sticking on this Orisa. If you want to play this Orisa comp into this Bastion, you know, you really have to play your corners a lot better because it seems that Monkey Happy is just taking all of the damage to the face and just dying immediately, opening so Danny can just take on the team. Citrus now having both support ults and Ultra Wep as well, as Danny does force out the Immortality Field. So I don't know how Pristine's going to be touching now.
That's how they're going to be touching right there. Mellow popping the visor through the Amp Matrix. Going to be able to find 2, but Ultima comes right back, finds 2 of their own. They have a blade ready to go. Here comes the Tree of Life. They're not going to need much of it here as just Danny slicing and dicing their way through the Guardians. It's a team kill and a point cap.
5 minutes 35 on the clock here for Citrus Gaming. You know, and Pristine Guardians, they're not able to start anything. They committed some ults into that last fight, but now they're going to come up on 3 ults. Sledge with the blade. They have Monkey Happy, but I don't know how well Terra Surge is going to be here in terms of effectiveness and controlling the space.
Especially since you still have Eponine on this Life Weaver, you could just immediately pound them up. It comes out. I don't think it finds anyone here, but they do pop the Wombo combo here with the blade. We'll find 1 off that, and it will turn in 2 more kills to follow it up. So finally, Pristine Guardians haven't looked the best so far this round. They finally get something to go their way, and it will be a team kill.
And remember, this is the exact same thing that happened to Citrus. or Pristine Guardians when Citrus, when they were on defense, right? They were able to stop the momentum from Pristine Guardians, and they were able to just continually defend until time was down to 1 minute. So I think Pristine Guardians, now they're all regrouped. Now they have the reset. They do have the beat. Let's see what they are able to do once they round this corner.
You see them put a lot of pressure there onto Zeb. Danny, though, going into that assault mode, gonna start to melt down a little bit. B coming out to keep everyone alive as the Flux does come out as well. No one falling right away. Mellow gets incredibly low. Back to being incredibly low. Finally gets sent to the spawn here for a little moment. Ultima doing a good job taking care of them, but you just see Zeb here putting a lot of pressure onto Pristine Guardians as the Ant Matrix comes out here from Snotty.
Yeah, and they were just, you see Zeb absolutely able to absorb everything that needs to. Ultimate Weapon coming up on his ult as well. Danny going to be trying to find something here as well. Z-Man in the back line with his window, going to be getting a pick. Ultimate Weapon finally finding one. He's going to be able to get that pick, but now it's going to be Mellow using his ultimate on the point. Baptiste is going to be going down as the blade does finally come out from Ultima Web, and it is just going to be the cleanup from Citrus as they are going to go for a cap. 3 minutes, 45 minutes on the clock.
I thought Pristine Guardians put on a great push round, but no, Citrus put on an even better one there. 3 minutes 45 on the time bank for them. Pristine will go first. They only have a minute 5 to now cap the first point and get whatever they can after that here. And if I remember correctly, Pristine Guardians didn't win the first point on their first fight. It took them about 2.
Yeah, it took them like 2.5. They were able to get a nice pick at the after their second push there, you know, when they didn't get domed. But, you know, interestingly, I think Pristine Guardians just wasn't able to find footing for themselves as Danny on the Junkrat. Okay.
But Evil 9's still on the Life Weaver.
Well, I can understand the Life Weaver pick. I don't understand the Junk. Okay, well, I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to deny a passageway for Pristine Guardians to go to. Because of that Trap Mine combo that they have, it kind of does eliminate a path you can take without really alerting the enemy team or your team to do any of that. So I think this is kind of almost a big brain move coming out from Danny, but we see Pristine Guardians going to potentially go for that TP play yet again. And if they really want to do this, they have to go fast, they have to go hard, and make sure they can still contest that high ground. As we do see Monkey Happy go onto the Jungle Queen. He did have some success in this from the last push. Let's see what happens here.
And remember, this is the exact same comp they came out with to start last time. The only difference is, as you kind of talked about, Danny not coming out on the Widowmaker, not doming Mellow right away, so they're going to be able to go a little bit faster. You see that TP up to the high ground there. They want to try to get rid of someone there. Not going to be able to find anyone just yet. Monkey Happy, though, gets incredibly low. Mellow gets incredibly low, and that's a great start here for Citrus. And now, Pristine Guardians, do you commit to this fight, or do you try to get out and save it for one more fight?
They're not finding any really substantial picks as the ceiling from the side of Citrus is just too much.
And honestly,
And
honestly, if you're Pristine Guardians, those two members that have fallen maybe make swaps here to just have people to touch. You immediately see Snotty do it. Sledge or Mellow did not with it there, so they're staying on the sim here. That's still a good character to touch if you get a TP out there, but you see the TP right there. It's still up, so they will not have that cooldown in time here. And see Monkey Happy just go straight through, but hey, someone touched the point. They're gonna get a touch your Sledge though. We'll find Eponine. That's huge for Pristine Guardians here as they need to get something going. Snotty Finger gonna be able to find Ulta. Z-Man falls as well. Danny will find Monkey Happy to keep themselves alive in this one here, but Pristine Guardians slowly capping the point. They find Zeb. Danny, not much longer for this world either, and Pristine Guardians, even coming from, it looked rough, but they capped the first point.
Yeah, it was so close, and you know, even though they managed to find the second push that they needed, and just like last time, we're able to cap the point. But again, Citrus just has so much sustain right here. Zeb is able to just tank with all of his abilities, letting Z-Man and Eponine just heal him all the way back up. And we see that now they're forcing a Solus just to stay on this point, and they really can't now leave this cart now that it's in overtime. Danny, with that tire, can be very dangerous when it comes to this kind of overtime play. So I really want to see what this tire can do.
Same thing with Z-Man's Ant Matrix. Here comes the tire. Does it force people off? Does Snotty Finger have to use a Suzu early? No, but it does find Mellow. That's a huge pick for them to get rid of the Symmetra, who is close to the Photon Barrier here. Z-Man, even I do have their ultimates ready to go. Here comes the Flux. Here comes the Ant Matrix. They're looking to end it now. Still haven't found anyone just yet. They're going to throw it on the cart. It doesn't find anyone there, and you do see Pristine Guardians keep themselves alive here. The Blade coming out from Sledge. Monkey Happy popping their Rampage as well. Finds 2 off of that. Pristine Guardians can be able to keep themselves alive for this one, but that overtime clock is ticking down. They cannot get off of the cart.
And just a beautiful use of ultimates from the side of Pristine Guardians. Monkey Happy finding 2 with that Rampage, and the B keeping him alive through Citrus's onslaught of ultimates. Danny now going to be swapping onto the Sojourn, potentially trying to get an ult. And you see that Citrus used both support ults. Zeb now going onto the Zarya, as they potentially could get the second point cap here, and it looks like they are going to be giving it away. Now they cap 5-3 now for the side of Pristine Guardians, making the most of this overtime push.
I did not expect to see this, but Pristine Guardians, they have surprised me so far this map. They have looked really good. Ultima does have the blade ready to go. Here comes the Consumer Rush and the Photon Barrier out from Pristine Guardians right now. Still, Ultima holding on to this blade here, and they're just getting free cart push off this here. The blade, though, gonna be popped here. Ultima, though, incredibly low. Monkey Happy with a knife kill there. Gonna be able to take care of them. And now Pristine Guardians, in my opinion, in the driver's seat to complete the map.
As they are going to be trying to complete the map, Monkey Happy is just thinking of making a standing presence here. No bubbles on the side of Zeb. Zeb's so high energy, but he is going to be pulled. That Life Weaver difference now coming and making this known. As we are going to be seeing now, Citrus is going to have that Graviton Surge very, very soon. And Danny also on another one, as they are touching point with almost another map clear.
The Solid still falling is not what you want to see. They had a beat almost ready to go there, but I don't think they're going to be able to come back in time. Zeb picking up 3, make it 4th one there for Ultima. Now all they have to do is get rid of this Junker Queen. The Overclock going to come out and shut them down. 5 points right now for Pristine Guardians, 60 meters away, or 60 meters past that 5th point there. Again, did not expect that from them. Citrus, that was almost a nightmare of a round for them.
Yeah, given how well they were able to defend, or how well their offensive went against Pristine, or defense against Pristine Guardian, this was quite the shock coming through. I mean, it's a great shock, don't get me wrong, it makes them have so much more interesting. We see signs of life for Pristine, but Citrus kind of dropped the ball there. They were not able to find, again, footing and let the momentum shift back into their favor after the first point cap. You know, Pristine Guardians didn't have the ult advantage, and they kept winning fight after fight at ultimate disadvantages. And that's what really impressed me the most with Pristine Guardians here, offensive here, is that they were able to get the fight wins and picks really, really early before Citrus could react, and they were able to make advantages for themselves from nothing. And so on defense here, I think Pristine Guardians needs to just elongate what they're doing here on first point here, try to kill as much time as possible before Citrus caps.
Yeah, that's in my opinion. I agree with you 100% there. They need to kill as much time as they possibly can, because remember how fast Citrus capped it last time. They came in there, Danny popped the assault mode on the Bastion, melted 2 people, and that was it. Everyone else with Pristine Guardians kind of rotated off, let them cap the point there. If they do that again here, I think the momentum maybe shifts back over to the Guardian, or to Citrus.
We'll just have to see. They are sticking on the Life Weaver. As I said, Life Weaver, such a big sustain in team fights because you don't get to go pick on him. He just stays in the back, constantly gives 75 heals to all his teammates. And it just seems like Monkey Happy is going to be going low a little bit, but it looks like they're going to try to go high ground here against Pristine.
Danny, again, finding one out early, and you find that Baptiste. That's a huge pickup there. Solozo on the Illari might be able to do enough healing, keep them alive. Mellowfong as well. This is not what you wanted to see if you were Pristine Guardians here. Ultima going to be able to find Sledge as well. They just have to get rid of Monkey Happy here on point, and essentially that will be it. Finally, the Junker Queen falls, and you see everyone for Pristine rotate out, and now this is exactly what Citrus needed. Maybe a little bit faster, but they're going to be able to cap the point.
Yeah, and Monkey Happy on this Junker Queen, really leaving this team exposed to the elements here for them to kind of take the brunt of the Citrus offensive. But we see that Monkey Happy taking comfort over practicality, which is totally fine. So we're going to see what it is. Sledge going half down here. But Pristine Guardians don't have any ultimates going for them, as we see. Meanwhile, Z-Man almost to his window here. An ultimate weapon almost to their copy. So it's going to be really interesting to see if they're going to be holding this corner or the next.
Z-Man, though, already able to find Sledge. That's a huge pickup. Monkey Happy gets stunned there. Not going to fall, though, as their supports are there to heal them up. Danny not having that assault mode ready to go, but they are going to have the grenade here. Going to throw it through that door. Maybe try to get someone there. Not going to be able to find anyone, but Citrus doing the right thing here. Pushing very far up. And they are very close to some ultimates here that could easily win them a team fight. And they still have 2 minutes.
If I'm on Citrus, I would try to play ult economy and try to be as frugal as possible when using ults. Speaking of, there's the lamp. No lamp here, as they do going to try to almost gets the pick onto the Bap, but Bap lives just barely.
And here comes the duplicate here from Ulta. Mello will find Danny. Zeb, though, immediately comes back and finds Snotty. Ultima gonna find one. Zeb finds a Solus there. The Tree of Life coming out. I don't know if you need that ult if you're Citrus.
I think Equal9 was not sure about if they were able to win, or they weren't aware of how many picks their team got. But that is actually pretty good for Pristine Guardians. They might be able to get a second touch here, but again, Sigma going onto the high ground. But look at Pristine Guardians side. Almost 5 ultimates, and you just used your defensive ultimate to try to do this. Zeb, though, gonna pick off Sledge. Sledge has been just playing in odd points here, giving his team a 4v5 situation.
Keeps getting found out early, but look at Pristine Guardians right now. 5 ultimates ready to go. You see the artillery strike come out here from Danny. If it can find one, that would be a huge opener for them here. But if you're Pristine Guardians, you have the ultimates here. If you play them smartly here, you can win this map.
Yeah, and you know, just as they won last time, pressing Q might be the way that they need to win now. Windows coming out now for the side of Citrus, and it's gonna hit 3!
And you immediately see 2 people get melted here. The beat coming out. No Ajax coming from there, but Sledge will find Danny. Mello finds 1. Sledge finding 2 there for the happy birthday. Same thing for Mello there. A happy birthday for them. And now Ultima Weeb gonna fall as well, but maybe a little bit of a too much invested there for Pristine. 4 ultimates.
Yeah, but they needed to invest that in order to halt any momentum that Citrus had in that fight. Ultimate Web now swapping over to the Genji. 20 seconds remaining. We're in last fight territory. Only one ultimate going to be ready for Citrus, and that's going to be Zeb coming up very shortly. Mello with his visor has to come up big.
And we have seen Mello pop off with these visors in the past. Zeb has to do a lot here to pretty much block all that damage. It's really going to come down to these 2 ultimates right now. Mello in a good spot right now in the backline here. And gonna probably stay in the backline for the majority of this fight here until it really gets popped off here. You see the visor come out here. They immediately drop their healing to keep themselves alive, but they're struggling to find anyone here with it. Lamp already used though, but the visor's gone. Danny's also gone too. The flux coming out here from Zeb. It needs to be huge. Doesn't find anyone often. Ultimo though, gonna find Snotty here. You see Ultima here trying to go after Mello. The healing though comes out in clutch there for them. Deflect will deflect a lot of damage away, but Mello eventually finds Ultimate Whip as well. The Tree of Life coming out here. Opponent unable to get that here. A huge stun, but still is not able to find Monkey Happy here, who is very close to a rampage. Mello again finding one more, finding the Opponent there. Only healing left here is Z-Man here. Danny will find Sludge coming out on the Tracer. Rampage comes out, does hit 2. Z-Man finds a Soulless. Monkey Happy though will find Z-Man here. Zeb trying whatever they can to keep themselves alive with no healers around them. Right now, it's gonna be a struggle. Z-Man falls. Ultimate Web right there. Gonna find 1. Make it 2. Keeping themselves alive in this fight. You see the Kiriko come back. The Blade coming out. Ultimate Web gonna be able to find them there. The Blade's coming out from both sides here. Sledge incredibly low. Ultimate Web incredibly low. Danny gonna be able to find them there. Citrus somehow ahead right now, but Pristine Guardian is coming back.
As they are going to be trying to get last-minute touches, the beat is going to come out here from the side of Pristine Guardians, as they are going to come on the Kiriko, and the ball is coming out now from Zeb. Monkey Happy coming out onto the Doomfist. The pulse is going to be, it's going to go wide, but it's not going to go here, as they're going to try to get last-minute touches.
But look at all the kills coming in from Citrus. Citrus gonna be able to do this right back, and they're gonna win this map, put them on series point. What a map!
Very well done from Pristine Guardians. Gotta give credit where credit is due. They had it at the very last moment, but the DPS line from Citrus, we see Ultima Web just clutching it back, bringing it back, getting 2 picks, and then we see Danny coming back on the Tracer, sustaining with those picks, even having enough time to build another Tracer bomb. We see the DPS clutch out for Citrus here. Bring it now to map, or to series point.
Man, what a map, what a map, what a map. If you're Citrus, you're feeling on top of the world there. Pristine Guardians, after their overtime push round there, you had to feel really good. But now, with that happening, you're going to have to build yourself back up here. Luckily, they have a little bit of a break here to do that. But again, it's going to be hard for them to do that.
Yeah, and I think Pristine, if you're Pristine Guardians, you know that you can win that. Mm-hmm. Right? Again, this last push offensive that was 0.5 for a new body here on Citrus was very, very close. They were able to build up the ultimates, that Junker Queen ult, hitting 3, getting the pick on the Baptiste. It was so close. All you had to do was close it out. Pristine Guardian know they can close out maps. It was just that tight of an ending right there. So if I'm Pristine Guardians, I don't feel too bad about that loss. Yes, it stings that you did it on overtime, and yes, it was because of second map completion, but now you go into watch point. after the break, we're going to be going into Flashpoint. Sorry, not Watchpoint. Different thing. But Flashpoint, going to go in there. And they could still play this Junker Queen rush comp that they're so familiar with, that they seem to be very, very comfortable in. So I think that it's going to be very interesting look going into Flashpoint.
Yeah, but like you said, we're going to take a quick break and be right back with our Flashpoint map.
Atlas Fighters Standoff. Choose your fighter. Cammy Tracer. Choose your fighter. Sakura Kiriko. Choose your fighter. Bison Sigma. Check out all this and more at goatsreviveshop.com.
All right, welcome back to the Atlas Fighter Standoff, brought to you by W Energy. Remember, W Energy is wow. This one is the bad one I'm doing it this time, but Atlas Fighter Standoff is brought to you by W Energy. Remember, if you use code GOATSREVIVED at checkout at w.gg, you will get 10% off your entire purchase. Remember, that is code GOATSREVIVED at w.gg. And also, hey, quick shout out to the three character arts we have of M, Bison Sigma, Cammy Tracer, and Sakura Kiriko. They are on shirts, stickers, mouse pads, and posters. You can purchase them at goatsreviveshop.com. They are great pieces of art. Make sure you pick something up. The stickers would be one that I would go after personally. But hey, Kaylee, this has been a hell of a series so far. The fact that it's 2-0 in favor of Citrus might be a shock, considering what we saw last map.
Yeah, if you're just looking at the scoreline, you might be thinking this is not even close, but you cannot be further from the truth. Pristine Guardians have been making every single map so close. They had just been trouble closing out the sets here. And so that's when we come on to the next point of Siravasa here on Flashpoint. I think that they're going to be able to find a chance here because of that fast-paced tempo, because of the tendency for them to play that brawl, because of the tendency to play Junker Queen. I think they'll have an advantage here coming into this.
Yeah, absolutely. And hey, if you're here with the first series of the night, well, you're seeing the first three maps again here as we head to Saravasa, which is probably the favorite of the two maps here for Flashpoint. Not a shock that we're seeing it again, but hey, this kind of leads into Pristine Guardians a little bit. They looked really good on the Junker Queen, and like I said last series, Flashpoint is kind of made for Junker Queen. You want to play fast, and Pristine Guardians looked great when they ran the Junker Queen.
Yeah, and especially when they ran the Junker Queen really aggressively too, right? When they were playing the Junker Queen a little more reserved, they were getting swamped over, and that's just kind of a tendency of the character. You know, you have to play aggressive, you have to play assertive, you have to make the first move as the Junker Queen. And I think when Pristine Guardians does that, they were able to win fights, they were able to gain the advantages in fights, and they were able to just push the advantage. So be on the lookout for them on this next point, Suravasa. And so I think first point, who's going to get there first? Are they going to be able to get the first control, especially the first point here on Siravasa being that open little space that they have?
Yeah, absolutely. Me and you were talking about it, kind of what we expect to see from this one here. And I kind of talked to you about it a little bit before the break here, that maybe, Pristine Guardians here needed to potentially, kind of have a mental reset after what happened there on Numbani, because they looked really good being able to get as far as they did with how little time they had. I thought that maybe Citrus put themselves in a little bit of a hole there, and they basically did with how close that map ended up being at the end here. But Pristine Guardians, they have looked good all series long. Like you said, the 2-0 scoreline here does not tell the entire story of this series so far, but I really need to see how they respond to essentially a heartbreaking loss there in Numbani.
Yeah, and it's very hard to shake losses like that off from Pristine Gaming. And again, Citrus has such a strong team composition. Again, these players have been playing together for such a long time. They're familiar with how they play and each other's comms and how they play with each other. But again, Pristine Guardian, they were able to show signs of life that makes it worth watching. Okay, as we are going to be heading now into the game. Sorry for the bait, chat. As we are going to be seeing now Siravasa.
And Citrus coming out or teasing us with a Junker Queen pick here as well. But we've seen this from Pristine Guardians. It looked really good for them on Numbani.
And it looks like they are going to be sticking with the Junker Queen. They are going to be using Lucio Boop just to get them as far away as possible. But Epo9 also going to stick onto that Lifeweaver. Again, this Lifeweaver actually playing a crucial role to Citrus's win there, being able to keep up the team, the Tree of Life, giving that overhealth as necessary, as Sledge is going to go half HP.
And Sledge, they got taken out early in a lot of fights and engagements in that last overtime round there. You don't want to see him fall early here again, but they get a nice dash there. Zeb getting incredibly low. Z-Man having to use the Immortality Field to keep themselves alive here. Pristine Guardians holding on point right now. Looking like they might be able to get the first cap here. Sledge, though, will pick up Ultima Weep. Ultima Weep, though, coming from the grave. 2 kills with a disrupting shot there. It's huge.
Ultima Wep getting a very, very nice either onto the back line, getting 2 picks, and Zeb also getting the cleanup. And it is going to be cleanup, but Sledge going to get a kill onto Epo9, but it's not really going to matter. Oh, he gets both supports. Okay, so this actually changes things up a little bit for Pristine Guardians. They're able now, if they get a quick regroup, they might be able to touch, but it looks like they're just going to take a slow ride here. Sledge did kind of stagger himself. But again, Citrus, they are able to just have this high sustain. And Z-Man is just able to play the game that he wants to in the back line, healing up his heal as much as he needs to, but also getting those picks as necessary. I want to see what position the Citrus is going to take here on the defense.
And right now, Pristine coming in through the main archway right there. You see Zeb trying to get out of there, but now they're kind of on their own. Not in a good spot. They're going to be taken out there by Monkey Happy right there. And now Pristine Guardian's going to be able to probably take control of this point again. Danny does have the blade ready to go, but I don't see him investing it here, especially with Eponine falling. That was probably their get out of jail free card there, but losing that Life Weaver, you lose the grass, you also lose Ultimate Wep right there. And Pristine Guardian's going to be able to retake the point. Citrus, though, 82% is nothing to scoff at.
Yeah, and I like Pristine Guardian's awareness there, shifting their focus from that Baptiste to the lone Zeb on the outside, able to open up with that pick. And from there, they were able to just kind of take control and get picks from that. Again, when you lose your tank, you lose so much space, right? So seeing Pristine adapt to that point and being able to go from that position is really, really good.
And now you see Citrus coming back with a couple ultimates here, but Pristine Guardians almost have all their ultimates ready to go here. So it's really going to come down to which team decides to invest ultimates into this fight. Consumer's coming out here from Snotty. Blade coming out from Danny. Finds one. Sledge will pop their own blade, get rid of the immortality field already. Rampage coming out from Monkey Happy does hit 4. That's huge from them there. Point still building up in favor of Pristine Guardians right now. Citrus finally gets someone on the point. Snotty will find Zeb here, but Citrus maybe going to be able to retake point. Danny trying to get rid of Snotty there. Z-Man going to take care of them as the overclock comes out here from Ultimate Web. Here, they're focusing in on a Solus here. Going to be able to get a shot in on them. Not going to be able to find them. Mello will find Ultimate Web. Overtime ticking down. A nice boot, but Danny dashes on the point. Sledge going to be able to take care of them. Visor coming out here from Mello will find Z-Man and pretty much clean up Eponine there. Maybe you didn't need that Visor, but you do cap this first point.
I like what Citrus did there, not giving up and the point as easy as they wanted it to, forcing Pristine to use as many ultimates as they want. We saw the Visor having to come out there now, but they see Pristine Guardians held onto the beat. For Citrus's ultimates coming on, which is going to be that Rampage, going to be that Window. So Z-Man with Window, we've seen how deadly he can be. And now it is Pristine Guardians who's going to have first control here, but can they find the pick they need in order to get the control now?
The Solus having this beat is huge, and you see the Amp Matrix come out there. It's in a really good spot. They used... they are able to get everyone out. The beat coming out now. Zeb could have a free Rampage right now once this wears off. A Solus so going to be able to find Damage. Ultimate Web falls as well. If you're Citrus, I don't think you invest anything else into this fight and either just try to get out or find a kill here. The Rampage, though, coming out, hits 3. It's huge, but the Susan going to be able to come out and cleanse a lot of people here. Mello, incredibly low, will be able to stay alive, but Zeb going to be able to take care of them there. Zeb now incredibly low, going to be able to get taken out there by Happy Monkey. And now this is not the start Citrus needed.
Yeah, and now they're staggering themselves even more. 30% and more counting, building up. They do lose a Solus, but one of the fastest characters in the game is going to come back really fast. Zeb now swamping to that Orisa. So we see this with Citrus was not being as proactive. You saw Pristine Guardians taking the initiative, looking for the picks, and Citrus was just seemingly waiting to see what Pristine Guardians would do here. And that didn't seem to work out. So if they're going to be playing the way they have, they're going to go to this Orisa who can take all that aggression, who can take and soak up all that damage, and then they can retaliate in that form. So it seems like Citrus going back to the playstyle they want to do instead of trying to match Pristine's.
Yeah, but if you're Pristine, you have ultimates right now to basically cap you this point and put you on to map point here. Citrus, you need to get something going here. The blade coming out from Danny needs to be huge. They're struggling to find anything. Rampage does come out, only hits Zeb, but Sledge will take care of Danny there and then take care of Zeb. They're just dashing their way through everyone on Citrus here. At the moment, Z-Man going to be able to find one, but that's going to be all they really get here as Pristine Guardians maybe looking to already put it onto map point.
Yeah, and I love what Pristine Guardians is doing here. They're being more proactive. They're being a lot more aggressive for this map. And this is why I was so on point to say that Pristine Guardians has a slight advantage when it comes to this because they're so comfortable on the Junker Queen composition, which requires you to be so proactive, be the ones that's aggressive. And we do see that they're going to have 4 ultimates here coming into this next point versus Citrus, who's only going to have 3. So we're going to see what Citrus has to do. Hopefully they can maybe get an opening pick, but we'll see how Pristine reacts to that.
I mean, Z-Man does have that MH ready to go. I would not be surprised if they use it here. The blade coming out here from Sledge, focusing in here on Danny. Ultimate Web gonna pop their visor, but Mello will find Danny there early. Beat coming out. Zeb finds a Solus to trade it out. Mello, though, coming alive, picking up 2 kills here, trying for a third, but Zeb gonna, casually escort him away from that. They're still holding on to their visor here. Point still waiting for someone to be capped here. Monkey Happy will find the Ultimate Web. Zeb falls as well. Epo9 joining them in the spawn as Pristine Guardians gonna be able to cap Point here first.
Yeah, and Sledge has just been able to get into the backline for essentially free, harass them, and allows his team to take the space even more. So we see Monkey Happy just being this constant aggressive pressure for Citrus. And now Citrus kind of playing on the back foot now, going into an ultimate disadvantage, and they still don't have beat. They committed the treat in that last fight, and it just didn't do anything for them.
Yeah, and still, you look at Pristine right now. They have a visor. Mello has been good with their visor so far. Zeb does have this Terror Surge ready to go, and it needs to be big, in my opinion. Z-Man, though, as this Amp is ready to go, they're going to use it, try to keep Zeb alive. Not going to be able to find anyone off of that. The visor and the Kasuna Rush coming out here from Pristine Guardians. That is a lot of damage going through that right now, but not going to be able to find any kills. Snotty, though, will find Zeb. Getting rid of that Orisa is huge for Pristine Guardians here, and with, the percentage right now, Citrus needs to get out of this fight. Try not to stagger themselves out anymore, because this could be final fight.
And it is definitely final fight, as now they're just looking for touches. Danny staggers himself, and so does Ultimate Web, as his ultimate stagger right there. They still hold on to the beat. They still have the Rampage, and I don't think anyone's able to touch.
No one's gonna be able to, and Pristine Guardians win this map, making it a series here as we will head to a map 4.
And not just winning it in style. 3-0 that map on that. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. Pristine Guardians knew they had to switch something up, knew they had to do something different. And so what did they do? They take the aggressive route. They're not afraid to walk in, be the first ones, especially on defense, to move over and try to look for these picks. And we saw Sledge dive into the backline, Mello, look for those off angles, and especially that for the tank player, find their knife and get the picks that they needed to. And we see that worked out for them, making it now the series 2-1.
Yeah, and like you kind of said, that was the map that Pristine Guardians need. It was a dominant map, and you really have to consider, what if Pristine Guardians had won Numbani here? Like, they would be on series point right now. But I really feel like they found something there on Numbani that Citrus just struggles with, and I really think it's just Junker Queen comp. And you have to give a lot of credit to Pristine Guardians.
Yeah, as we are going to be loading into map number 4, which is going to be Ishbiranza, another push map, and another great Junker Queen map here for Pristine Guardians. So they are going to be still playing to their strengths. For Citrus here, I'm wondering if they now are going to swap away from this reactive playstyle they have with the Orisa, with the bunker comp, with this comeback style, and they're going to try to play a little bit more aggressive, a little more proactive in the scene in this next match. That's what I would like to see out of Citrus. We've seen these players are very, very capable. Z-Man has a great backline, and Danny rushing it on the DPS line, and Ultimate Web as well. We can't scoff at these players. They all are very fantastic players. I think they just need to play more aggressive now, as we do see Zeb hovering over the Zarya now, and this is what I wanted to see. A lot more aggression, a lot more ability to make plays.
Pristine Guardians, though, Sledge coming out on the Sombra, teasing us with it at the moment. Mello coming out on the Tracer. I mean, I don't think we've seen these two picks from Pristine Guardians. We haven't seen a Sombra all night. So this is a very interesting one here. In my opinion, I think they think that Citrus was going to come out on an Orisa here, on maybe even a Sigma here, try to shut them down. But with Zeb coming out on the Zarya, I don't know how much value the Sombra gets.
Yeah, and I think that the Sombra potentially maybe denies the Genji when he dashes in, but that's really it. But especially with bubbles, really just shuts down what the Sombra wants to do. Also, another thing I want to quickly talk about is this Kiriko. This Kiriko really has been kind of a nice save with the Suzu for the enemy team, as we do see that he does build 20% off that one push, but we're going to have to see if the Sombra makes any play.
I mean, they're going to be focusing in on Epo9 or Z-Man here. I don't think they're going to focus on Zeb that much, because they can just bubble themselves to cleanse themselves of the hack effect there. But right now, Sledge getting incredibly low, has to probably teleport themselves out of there to get the health back up here. Bot is open to be pushed here, still waiting for the first fall here. You do see the hack come out there on the Ultimate Web, but the bubble immediately comes out to clean them of it there, as Ultimate Web was incredibly deep in that backline, had to use a dash to get back out.
Yeah, and this is exactly what it is just like, can Monkey getting a pick onto Z-Man. Now there's not really much HP healing on the side of Citrus. Epomine going really, really close. He can't get it. He's being so pressured right now, but he's barely living, but he finally goes down. And this is the push that Pristine needs to finally break away.
Danny picking up 2 here. Can they pick up a third? They're on that high ground. Not going to be able to pick up a third just yet. Mello will find Zeb here, but Danny, that's not a good spot right there. Monkey Happy gonna be able to take him out, and now Pristine Guardian starting to push this barrier.
Yeah, and as we look at the ultimate lineup right now, we have Mello with the Pulse Bomb, we have Monkey Happy and Sledge coming up with their ultimates as well, Snotfinger with the Kitsune Rush. Meanwhile, on the Citrus, what do we have? We have Tree, we have Window, we have Danny ult, so everyone's ultimates are going to come up really, really shortly in this next fight. I'm thinking that this next fight is going to be decided with that Junker Queen ult and what can be done.
Kitsune coming out here early from Snotty. They want to play it fast. They want to deal a lot of damage. Street of Life coming out from Epo9 to keep everyone alive in that small room. The Pristine Guardians continue to push this barrier close to getting the forward spawns here. Rampage, yeah, but ooh, a nice javelin spin coming out there from Zeb to keep everyone away from it, not getting a lot of value out of that Rampage, but they get the checkpoint because just the pressure coming out from Monkey Happy up there. Danny gonna pop the overclock, be able to find them here. They still have those forward spawns, so at the moment, I think they take that kill. They take losing their tank because they will be able to get back into this fight pretty quickly.
And I think Pristine Guardians are so happy with that fight. They committed really only the Monkey Happy's ult with that Rampage and the Pulse Bomb. And Pulse Bomb bolts really, really fast. And they got 3 ults out of it with Danny, Epo9, and Z-Man. So now they're able to have a nice push. They don't have to worry about checkpoint anymore. If they have a rolling advantage, they can. But they have EMP here and Beat in order to sustain this next fight. Whoa.
Nice dash coming out there from Ultimate Wep. Definitely just taking a shot in the dark there, but able to find them. Does get them away, does get Sledge away from the moment. Definitely was looking to use that EMP there, but they're waiting for the right moment here. Probably for the Terror Surge to come out maybe, or even the Blade to come out from Ultimate Wep as Zep gets hacked up here.
And look where Danny is positioned. He's positioned on that same high ground that he was before picking up, and there's not really anyone who can go really touch him outside of Sledge. So Sledge looking to see if he can get this EMP angle and try to find the backline.
EMP comes out, it hits for Z-Man, immediately falls. Danny joining them in the grave. You see Ultimate Web dive into that backline there, but it's just all death. It's all going Pristine Guardian's way here.
And that's just like the efficiency of EMP. You can EMP, hit 5, get them all down 40%, win the fight, eliminate 1 target, and now we see Citrus playing on the back foot. Ultimate Web has been holding onto this Blade for about like a minute and a half now, and they have not really had a great opportunity to use it, knowing that the Lucio has Beat. So the Lucio holding onto this ability now, but they are going to have Tree of Life potentially for this corner push or corner hold here, so let's see what they're able to do with it.
Yeah, but right now, if you're Pristine Guardians, you got those forward spawns back, you see him immediately falling back here. You do not need to really commit into this. The hack comes out, and oh, the Blade gets deleted. It finds nothing. The beat coming out from the soul is maybe a little bit too much, but hey, you don't expect to get that off there. Here comes the Terror Surge, it needs to be big, doesn't find anyone there. They get hacked out of it, so not a lot of damage will come from it here. Monkey Happy does have this Rampage ready to go as the Amp Matrix comes out here for him. From Z-Man, Danny gonna be able to find Monkey Happy there. Danny has been probably the person who's been popping off here for Citrus whenever they need them to. As they pick up 2 there, the spawns will probably get reset, but Pristine Guardian's gonna be ready to come back out.
And this is the beauty, if you will, of push, is just these forward spawns ability just to hold as close as possible to this. So Citrus, even though they have control right now, they really don't, because they're playing basically at the same point as they are. They are seeing Pristine Guardian here, push up here, Sledge almost another EMP, and Pristine Guardian's having 4 ultimates.
Citrus though needs to get something going here. Danny does have this overclock ready to go. They're gonna pop it off here. They find one. The Rampage comes out, does hit Danny and Zeb here. Not a lot that they can do to get healed up here. Ultimate Weapon though gonna be able to find Mello, and this is the kind of fight that Citrus needed here. They need stuff to go their way. Already 3 down, looking for a 4th one here. It's really just Monkey Happy here, who did use the Rampage there and doesn't find anything off it, and maybe Citrus will be able to get the forward spawns off of this.
Yeah, Danny with that ultimate was able to just be a nuisance, even though he was antied. We saw Mello try to go in, but Danny just completely shutting it down. Ultimate Web also on the swap to Tracer, trying to match Mello, knowing that they not really have a good answer with that Genji. So I like the swap coming out here from Ultimate Web, as I do want to see them touch if possible, but they do get the forward spawn just a little too late.
but Pristine Guardians does have the ultimate advantage here right now. Both DPS and that Kasuni Rush here will help them out greatly whenever they decide to use it. Snottyfinger has normally been very aggressive with them, using them almost right away once a team fight starts here. So whenever you see that Kasuni Rush come out, that is definitely the go on Sledge looking for that EMP right now. Not going to be able to find Snottyfinger though. Eventually going to use that Kasuni Rush right there. And oh, Evo9 in a terrible spot gets taken out there by Sledge. Zeb, Danny though picking up 2 kills. That's huge for them. Right back. Pulse Bomb coming out there from Ultimate Weapon. Not going to be able to find anyone. EMP does come out. Hits 2 members there, but they're not going to find anyone off it. And look at that yellow line. Citrus going to take the lead.
Well done by Citrus, taking guys all of that pressure coming out from Pristine Guardians. Yes, you lose Equal 9 fine early just due to an unfortunate translocation from Sledge, but we commit the EMP, we commit the Pulse Bomb, we commit Tsune Rush, and Citrus is able to just play well with that window and win the fight. Ultimately, Ultimate Web also getting a pick with that Pulse Bomb really just changed the turn of the time, so they are able to get the lead here now, as they are trying to get the dagger kills now from here, Pristine Guardians.
Getting very aggressive. You love to see it. Monkey Happy be able to find Epo9 there as that fight still kind of is going on there in that small little corner right there. They're looking to get the spawns reset right now. Soul is going to be able to do that on their own as the fight still continues on.
Yeah, not able to quickly reset the spawns, but we do see Pristine Guardian as that beat, able to go here, but we also see Epo9 with the tree. Can they do this defensive ult is really good. Mello coming up on another Pulse Bomb. We'll have to see what it looks like here as Zeb is coming up on his ultimate.
Danny gonna be able to find a Soulless there. Sledge though gonna trade that out on the Ultima Web. If you're Citrus, you probably take that. You got rid of their Lucio there. Cannot really speed themselves out of a fight. Zeb though getting incredibly low. The hack coming out on the Epo9 here. They're gonna be able to dash away from that Sledge. It's incredibly low, but look at the ultimates that Pristine Guardians has. However, Citrus gonna slowly add on to their lead here as we come down to the final 2 minutes.
Yeah, and Citrus is just continually pushing, regardless of all the ults that they're using. It does not matter. Citrus is just able to just hold on to these dry pushes without ultimates. And now they have 4 ultimates coming, and Danny using his ult as they do try to get the hack in the back line. But Danny gets the pick on the Sledge.
Getting the happy birthday. They're looking for the Merry Christmas. Not going to be able to find it just yet. And they finally do. There's the Merry Christmas, the triple kill for Danny, and it's a team kill overall.
And Danny has just been time and time again showing up for Citrus when they most need him. And this is no exception. 117 meters and counting coming in here as they ultimate weapon 1 HP. Recall tries to save it as now Sledge has the EMP to make something big happen here for his team.
Kasuni Rush coming out here from Snotty as they desperately need something to go. Sledge gets caught out. They had that EMP, like you said, probably were going to use it there, but running an ultimate weapon was not what you needed to happen there. Citrus smartly backing up here. They realize they have this time bank on their side. They just need to play this safe here. They don't need to do anything too dangerous.
And speaking of dangers, that window is still available to Z-Man with no beat available. EMP finally, he goes out.
Oh, but Sledge gets taken out. The Pulse Bomb comes out. I believe we got Suzu to keep him alive, but Danny, who else but Danny, picks up a kill. Ultimate Web picking up another kill there. Make it 2 for them. Under a minute to go, and Citrus gonna add on to their lead here. Pristine Guardians running out of time here.
40 seconds remaining. They have no ultimate. Z-Man still with that window. And Pristine Guardians need a miracle here. A pick, something to get started so that they can hold on here and still stay in the series and be not eliminated.
Z-Man, like you said, holding on to this Ant Matrix is going to be huge. They're going to use that as probably the final nail in the coffin of this series, of this map. Pristine Guardians nowhere close to an ultimate. Mellow, closest one here. Shotty Finger as well. They need to build those ultimates fast. They want to have a chance here, but Citrus is playing this smart. They don't need to push into anything. Here comes the Ant Matrix. It's in a very awkward spot. Not going to be able to find anyone, but Zab finds a Solus. Is this the beginning of the end? Z-Man finds Sledge there, and it will be the beginning of the end. Citrus taking care of the Pristine Guardians and securing themselves a spot in the semifinals.
Well, there was a great showing from Pristine Guardians here at the map. At the very beginning, they were showing off just what they're capable of, but your man right here played the game, Danny, showing off why his team deserves to go into as a double headshot. It's so nasty. Oh, goodness. Danny, time and time again, showing up when his team needs it, showing up whenever the tire straights are coming up, and Citrus taking it 3-1 against Pristine Guardians.
Yeah, and honestly, like you kind of said, Danny kind of just showed up whenever they needed to on that map. Even when they were struggling at the start of it, Danny was always able to find 1 or 2 kills. Yeah, their team would end up losing the team fight, but Danny was starting to kind of show themselves as the main threat for Pristine Guardian, or for Citrus there. Pristine Guardians needed to shut them down, but they really did focus a lot on Zeb. And honestly, that's not a shock. You want to put a lot of pressure onto that Orisa. You want to try to get them off the field. But because of all that pressure that they were putting onto Orisa, it allowed Danny to have free range onto everything.
Yeah, I think we also have to talk about the back line for Citrus. Z-Man and Fufi, I forget the other person's name. I'm so sorry.
I forgot
But yeah, Epo9. I am so sorry, Epo9. You are played amazing, Lucio. Thank you so much, production. Shout out production, by the way. Anyway, Z-Man and Epo9, just an amazing backline. Even when they were getting dove, even when they're having all this pressure happening, they were able to keep the team alive and allow the space to be made so that the enemies and Danny can get the picks as needed. Z-Man also on the Baptiste, an absolute monster, getting picks that the team needed, keeping the tank Orisa alive, keeping the Junker Queen alive, and making Citrus's life a ton easier.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that backline did incredible. Even with Sledge trying to hack them up the entirety of that map, I felt like once they got very close together, kind of like how we saw in Owl Grand Finals, it just didn't matter when the two supports were that close to each other. They were able to keep themselves supported throughout anything. And just an excellent series overall. But again, I feel like we have to keep going back to that Numbani map a little bit there. Citrus being able to overcome everything and win that one was the difference maker here.
Yeah. And again, Epo9 especially with that Life Weaver switch, able to sustain the team and especially save save Z-Man in dire straits when he needed to with that pull, getting the jump away to heal himself. So he was a very slippery character as we're going to. But we will be heading over for a break, and afterwards we will have an interview with none other than Epo9. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Atlas Fighters Standoff Playoffs. As we just finished a very intense set between Citrus and Pristine Gaming. Citrus taking it up 3-1. Scoreline does not describe the whole story, making it very close from both teams, but Citrus able to clutch it out. And we do have an interviewee right here in Epo9. Epo, how are we doing?
I'm doing good. Just played an incredible match.
And it was an incredible match to watch. How does it feel to win? How does your team feel right now, winning that fourth map right there after winning such a close maps?
Very relieved. We had to have two of our subs couldn't make it today, so I had to fill in as the manager. Yeah, just overall relief.
Yeah, that was an incredible series, but honestly, I want to ask about Numbani in specific. I mean, the first overtime when you guys allowed Pristine Guardians to almost complete the map again, you guys had to have some sort of mental reset, and then once you get your guys' push going, and it's in that final fight territory right there, and it just seems to drag on forever. Like, what is going through your head? What is going through your team's head right there during that moment?
What's going through my team's head is just how much they have to compensate for me and all the mistakes I'm making. So what's going through my head is just trying to not play awful, play an easy character like Lifeweaver and win the game.
Yeah, and that kind of leads to me is this very interesting Lifeweaver switch onto the second attack on Numbani. Was there any particular reason that you swapped to it, or was there any call from the team for it, or was it just more of a I'll feel it out kind of thing?
I just kept lagging out and dying. I'm also playing from EU right now. So I figured I have 100 hours on Lifeweaver. I'm just going to play that and see if it works. And it did.
Well, it worked wonders. You know, you sub it in for basically a Lucio beat, the Tree of Life, able to get some clutches, especially on that last point of Numbani. Ooh.
Sorry about that.
You know what? Absolutely fine with the banger of a game you guys just did. But I also wanted to ask about your teammate, Danny. Danny showing up so often for your team, able to get double, triple, even quadruple kills and getting him at the most crucial moment. How's it like playing with him, and what can you speak about him?
Danny's chill. I've seen him do better. He's going to do better in the next match too.
All right, and you do know that your next opponents are going to be question mark, as they won in a similar fashion to you, 3-1. Is there anything you're looking forward to in your teammates and going forward, or into your opponents and going forward? Sorry.
I am looking most forward to having our supports available tomorrow to play the match. If we're lucky, you guys won't see me at all for the rest of the tourney.
You played very, very well, Epo9. And how would you expect your team to play tomorrow? Is there anything you would like to say to your opponents before we let you go?
I just hope we keep playing like we've been playing. Not today, but like the other days.
All right. Well, that's everything we have for you today, Epo9. Thank you so much for the interview. Best of luck for the rest of the tournament. You have been an absolute joy to watch. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Well, that was Epo9 from Citrus. I believe they were being a little bit too hard on themselves there. They did a great job on that Lifeweaver. I believe they brought a lot of support to their team. The pedals, the graphs, in my opinion, actually really did help them out a lot. But Kaylee, 2 bangers of series here tonight. And guess what? There's 2 more tomorrow.
Yeah, and if we can go see what tomorrow's matches are going to be looking like, we do have banger after banger. We did have 3-2 with Strix and Obsidian, Timeless Obsidian making it, but now they go up against Abs or Bust, who went 3-0 against Persona. So that'll be a very interesting match to see, and also Citrus going against So that's going to be an even closer match. So again, tomorrow, it's going to be all here on this channel right here. So don't go nowhere. Make sure you follow and make sure you keep here at Goats Revived. But I'm really excited to see how Timeless Obsidian does in the rest of the tournament. What are your thoughts on teams going into the semifinals day?
I mean, Abs or Bust sweeping Persona is a big thing for me. I think, you know, only having those 3 maps, they were able to maybe watch a little bit of the Timeless Obsidian and Strix matchup here. It was very close back and forth there. They probably learned a lot about both teams, a lot about how they need to, you know, kind of slow down Timeless here. I feel like that's going to be a really good series tomorrow. is a very good team, in my opinion. A team that is going to surprise a lot of people. Winning that series tonight, in my opinion, was not a big surprise to me. But if they come out tomorrow and play like they probably did tonight, I think Citrus is going to have a really tough time against them. But even in Epo9's words there, maybe they were playing a little bit down. Both me and you agreed that Epo9 played great, but hey, they were down both their starting supports. And maybe there's a little bit of a difference here, but they still look great throughout the series here tonight.
And if this is them at their bottom, I cannot wait to see how Citrus plays at their top. So
you have to remember they beat Timeless Obsidian in the pool stage.
Yeah, so if they are able to get to Grant and face it, and Timeless are also get there, we'll be really interested to see if this like a revenge story could kind of happen. See if Timeless can beat Citrus, or we'll just repeat history. But figure out who goes to grand finals tomorrow. You have to come watch here on Go to Revive tomorrow to watch the final semifinals happen, not the finals.
Yeah, absolutely. But before we go, remember everyone, M Bison Sigma, Kami Tracer, and Sakura Kiriko can all be yours, whether it be on a sticker, a t-shirt, a poster, or an LED mouse pad. Remember, go to goatsreviveshop.com and you can get those there. Remember, that is M Bison Sigma, Kami Tracer, and Sakura Kiriko. Also, again, a quick shout out to Dubby Energy. There's the partners for the Atlas Fighter Standoff. If you use code GOATS Revived at checkout, you will get 10% off your entire purchase. Remember, code GOATS Revived at checkout. Again, thank you to Dubby Energy. But Kaylee, this was an incredible night of Overwatch. We had a banger go the distance in our first series, almost had to go the distance here in our second series, but Citrus able to come out on top here. I want to give a quick shout out to Rhino and Hippie, our observer and our producer here tonight. They did a great job getting all the angles that we saw. Remember, guys, always shout out your observers and your producers. They do a lot here.
They do indeed. And thank you, Dexatron, for being such a great co-caster tonight and going with me on this crazy ride. I cannot wait to see these teams play, but I think that is going to do it for us tonight. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Night.
Good night.
Atlas Fighters Standoff. Choose your fighter. Kami Tracer. Choose your fighter. Sakura Kiriko. Choose your fighter. M Bison Sigma. Check out all this and more at goatsreviveshop.com.